Oil fell after U.S. President Donald Trump said new talks with Iran will begin on Monday after he called off a planned attack on the Islamic Republic. Brent for October lost as much as 7.3% after futures surged by almost a quarter in July to post the biggest monthly gain since March. Trump said on Sunday that he called off a massive attack on Iran after allies in the Middle East, including Saudi Arabia, asked him to pursue a deal instead. The U.S. leader said he had agreed to cancel the assault, subject to being able to rapidly make a deal to quickly reopen the Strait of Hormuz, according to an earlier post on Truth Social.
Moving on, the presidency has defended the administration of President Bola Tinubu after the Bishop Emeritus of Abuja, John Cardinal Olorunfemi Onoyekon, criticized the administration, accusing the president's aides of shielding him from the realities facing Nigerians. His comments drew a sharp response from the presidency, which said the cardinal was not speaking on behalf of all Christians in Nigeria. Onoyekon's interview has since generated heat in the political terrain in Nigeria, as the opposition African Democratic Congress has backed the position of the Catholic bishop, while the presidency fights back on ethics on off-record interviews. The Catholic bishops who met with the president spoke on issues affecting not only Catholics, but also Christians and Nigerians in general, insisting that their message was one of national interest, humanity, and good governance.
Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has charged Osun residents and voters to ignore the threats from oppositional Progressive Congress and troop out en masse to vote for his re-election on August 15. Adeleke's comments came as his campaign organization, Imole Campaign Council, alerted the country and the international community to what it called unsettled political climate in the state as people prepare for the governorship election on August 15. Also, the presidential candidate of Accord Party, Dr. Benga Olawepo Ashim, called on Accord Party stakeholders and supporters in Osun State to close rank and remain loyal to the party and mobilize massively for the victory in the forthcoming election, stating that the action of a few individuals must not derail the party's mission. Meanwhile, the National Electoral Commission on Saturday conducted mock voter accreditation across 12 government council areas of Osun State ahead of August 15 governorship election in the state.
I'm happy that the Beavers is working. The initial problem that was encountered has to do with the old cards. And when the complaint was laid, we were able to solve that problem. And as you have seen from here, the old card is now working. The new cards too are working. So that is the essence of this accreditation, so that we don't run into this problem during election day. And the ICT director has confirmed that the problem is solved and is solved for good.
Assessment is now good, because we are here before. That machine that used to soak the face didn't work. So later they call us back, said they have adjusted, but now it's working perfectly. I've done my own too. Less than an hour before they call us back.
Based on some concern and complaint expressed by some political parties on the number of beavers deployed to the states, we have increased the total number of beavers for the election from 4,427 to 5,130, so as to serve split polling units in large POS in Ife East, Irewole, Egbedore, Ede North, and Osogbo.
Well, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has said the publication of its presidential candidates by the Independent National Electoral Commission has ended months of speculation over the party's participation in the 2027 presidential election. The party said those who predicted it would fail to produce a candidate had been proven wrong. It described the inclusion of its presidential candidate, Senator Sandy Ono, and his running mate, Babangida Umar, on INEC's published list of candidates as a major milestone in its preparations for the 2027 general election. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party, led by Kabiru Turaki, says it has submitted the name of former President Goodluck Jonathan to INEC as its presidential candidate for the 2027 elections. The submission was made manually following INEC's refusal to provide the group with access codes to upload Jonathan's name electronically. Right. Okay, so quite interesting stories. Welcome to a brand new week. And it was, in the terms of in local parlance, a weekend of gbas from the presidency and to critics or people who have been described as critics of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, from the Catholic bishops to presidential candidates Atiku Abubakar. Everybody received their own water, as is said on the streets, their own kickback from the presidency. I'll get into that shortly, but let me quickly touch on what's going on with the presidential candidate of the PDP. I had just a few questions, and that is that I'll be interested to hear Senator Sandy Ono's statement on his assessment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration and why he wants to challenge him in next year's election. I'd like to hear his assessment of this administration, because him is a faction that has clearly stated that they are happy with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Wike is not one to shy away from talking about how the president has been, quite wonderful in his administration. So it'll be great to hear why they have put forward a candidate, bearing in mind that they support the president, and if he's doing so well, why the need to waste the time of Nigerians and even their own resources by putting up a candidate. And then, of course, there's the question around the Turaki-led faction. What I wonder is why President Goodluck Jonathan is allowing his name to be so pushed around in such a manner. You were not given access codes, you gave his name manually. We know that's a joke. If you were not given access codes to upload his name electronically to the INEC website, we understand what that implies. So why are they using his name in such a manner? This is a respected statesman. This is also a man who, by the way, has not come out to either accept or reject. The only people who have been speaking on his behalf have come out to confirm that he's actually running in that particular, he's interested, or he has accepted the nomination of the party to run in 2027 election. So very interesting there. So for Senator Sandy Ono, my question would be, why are you running if the faction of the party that's put you forward is in support of the president of today? What alternative do you have to offer? Are you just on the ballots just to make up a number? Why are you wasting the time of Nigerians and resources when we already understand where your faction aligns with? And then for President Goodluck Jonathan, maybe it's time to break the silence and actually put an end to all of this. I think it's now becoming almost embarrassing for him to putting your name, sending him manually. This should not be said of a man of his caliber, that he's not able to come out to say whether or not people are using his name for political purposes, or perhaps he's also in agreement that if all things work out, he will be on the ballot come 2027. All right, Osun elections in approximately 12 days. And of course, 15th of August, so in 12 days. So the governor has come out to say that come out and vote. We know that ahead of the elections, there's already been fraught with a lot of controversies, unfortunate election violence, and we've called again and again on the IG of police to wade in and investigate and ensure that all those who are guilty are brought to book. We haven't heard much on that front, but I'm glad that they're still encouraging people to come out, because the danger of what has happened thus far is significant voter apathy. Significant voter apathy born by people not believing the process, the credibility of the process, and even a genuine fear for their lives. Because if we have seen the extent of the violence in the last few weeks, then you can only imagine what would happen on the day. So if security operatives do not, give enough assurance and confidence to voters to come out, then they must be said that already they are culpable for voter apathy that would occur on the 15th of August, because people do not feel safe enough to come out, or people do not feel like their votes will matter. Now let me come to the presidency and their response to the Catholic Bishops' Conference. I want to lay a few points, first of all, before I go into the statement that was released, one hand by Mr. Timothy Ajayi and the other hand by Daniel Boala, speaking on behalf of the president. First of all is that when the Catholic bishops, some of the representatives had gone to meet with the president, they had said categorically that this statement representing was not from them, that they were representing after deliberations, rigorous deliberations from the Catholic Bishops' Conference. They were just acting as spokespersons. The second thing is that when you look at bona fide, who are they? Why would they have the opportunity or the right to tell the president what is happening? Because a huge chunk of Mr. Temitope Ajayi's statement judgment was around the fact that, they were not really representing the views of many Nigerians, and that facts that they had could counter their assertions around the state of the nation, economically, security-wise, and in other areas. Number two, the fact is that the Catholic Church has about approximately 35 million followers in Nigeria, one of the largest in the world. Number two is that we understand the Nigerian climate. Religious leaders, whether of the Catholic faith, of the Christian faith, or the Muslim faith, and every other other faiths, act as almost micro-local governments to the people. In fact, it's been said that they often understand because of the influence that they wield. So we know that these are people who are not just coming out to speak. There's a backing of the legitimacy that has been given to them by the people that they lead. And when I talk about even micro-local government areas, remember that many of them, even because of the tenets of their faith, respond to poverty cries by their congregation, whether, again, Islamic faith or Christian faith. We see a lot of them do charitable activities. I know the can make a difference. I know so many that go out on a daily basis to meet the needs of Nigerians, whether through feeding, whether through welfare support. There's almost no religious organization that does not have a welfare department. So they would understand if the demands on their welfare posts has increased in the last years, if they have seen more complaints or more, incidents of poverty-related issues come to them by virtue of their positions, they understand, they meet the people. So we cannot neglect the role that they play, even if, and I do agree that they are meant to be non-partisan, but they also, by the nature of Nigeria that we have, play a huge role. So what did they say? They said that, first of all, what was challenged was that this was a closed-door interview, so it shouldn't have come out. To be quite fair, we don't have the records whether or not it was said to be off record and there was an agreement or an oath that was taken that whatever was discussed in this meeting would not be put out. Even before Cardinal John Omoye gave that interview to Arise News, there were already videos that came out of that meeting. There were already press releases. Perhaps what was offensive to the presidency was that it was not a narrative that was controlled by them in the area of a press release. And so when he came out to give his own, his account of the event of what happened, it then became a huge problem. I wish I had a bit more time to talk about this, but I'm sure in the course of today's show, we will discuss this in more detail. Some of the things that came out of it. Do Nigerians feel poorer? Just look around you. But Rufai, your take on these stories, please.
Thank you, Ayo. Wow, so I have to sit down here and talk about the hypocrisy of the APC this morning. What a job to do. I don't need to talk much as regards this Omoye debacle. All I'll do is I'll take you back to 2014, November. My colleague seated here with me, Dr. Abati, remembers that interface. November 2014 in the villa. A certain Cardinal John Omoye came to the villa. He said things were not well in the country. This same APC called Cardinal John Omoye a voice of reason. They praised him to the high heavens, this same APC. They said everything well about Cardinal John Omoye. In fact, there are many APC people that saw him as a symbol of speaking truth to power. They were happy to take pictures with him in public and call him our own Oscar Romero. They loved him, they lapped him up. They took Cardinal Omoye's criticism and they lapped it up. My colleague here, Dr. Abati, was on the receiving end then. But the question we should ask them today is, what changed? Isn't Cardinal Omoye a bastion of speaking truth to power any longer? Oh, there was no problem with it when Cardinal Omoye spoke truth to power against Goodluck Jonathan. You lapped it up, you took the sound bite, you said it was a divine representation that things were not well. But when he says the same thing to you, because Cardinal Omoye is constant as a northern star, then you start to legislate and lecture him on spiritual and, can I use the word, ecclesiastical and episcopal matters. But when he said it in 2015, on 2014, it was a good thing then. So for all of those that have replied and said one or two things about Cardinal Omoye, yes, you will say those things to justify your paymasters and make it look as if you're working for your paymasters. You wouldn't do otherwise. Because you have to defend where you're earning your pay. But can't you see that your hypocrisy speaks so loud? People cannot hear what you say, like Ralph Waldo Emerson says. Can't you see it is shocking that you yourself that are suffering the biting economic pangs and the conditions in this country, that more people have had to ask you for money and more people have had to depend on you because you're in government? Can't you see that it is hypocritical? Because you must not be seen to come outside to say things are not well when you deeply know that things are well. So it's a daunting job for me this morning to respond to the hypocrisy. My practical response will be, dear APC, what changed? Cardinal Omoye was a hero in 2014. Why is he not an hero today? Is it because of the mandate? And whose mandate should Cardinal Omoye speak for? Mandate of man or mandate of God and conscience? That's the question for you. Ayo, as you all know, I love to dance. If I can see Sandy Honor effectively criticize President Tinubu and eviscerate President Tinubu's policy, I will give you a show on television. I'm coming here to do Skelewu. And as regards President Goodluck Jonathan, I think people have put you at a pedestal that it's not fair that you do this to yourself. Most of those that went against you in 2014, you have been vindicated, and time always vindicates. Your legacy has become better over time. And I think for those that God has given the length of life to see things turn around as regards their legacy, I think they should also learn to coat their legacy with fine paint by effectively coming out and standing strong and defending it. We all know that the Tamino Turaki section of the party was not really going to go anywhere. So it was best for you to have come out to say something. As regards the Osun elections, yes, we're seeing a lot of high-handedness. Bola Adeleke called for the people to come out. I just hope they will be protected. And I just hope people will be given the right to exercise their franchise, because I do not think that elections should degenerate. But what saddens me the most is that in all of this, we have been left to the pangs of violence in our electoral process. And I feel the concern of the AAC candidate that says the other candidates did not even attend the debates. What we expect politics to do should be a robust festival of ideas where people will debate. But it is sad that the theatrics, violence has taken over the Osun elections when people ought to be debating. And as regards Donald J. Trump, he's benefiting from this ding-dong affair in the oil prices. I just hope we can have sanity in the world.
All right. Okay, it seems to me that President Donald Trump is playing what appears to be a psychological warfare. Having tried all other options, and those other options are not, working, apparently. On April 7, he had said that he would, wipe off Iran from the surface of the earth. Today, in August, he's not been able to do that. Many other times he had said, something terrible will happen to Iran. It has not happened. Now, over the weekend, he's saying he called off a strike that he said will be worse.
Okay, nothing concerns with this one. Let's move forward. And I'm not a fan of this guy anyway, so we're going to move on up from him. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Kene, I see you. Welcome. I see you. Yeah,
Worse than whatever.
Hello, my name.
stories we have on the political brief this morning. First, a coalition of 100 prominent Nigerian citizens under the aegis of the G100 and led by Malam Salihu Lukman has issued a passionate open letter to major opposition figures nationwide, urging them to set aside personal political ambitions and unite ahead of the 2027 general elections. Another story in focus this morning is the presidency's detailed defense of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic reforms, dismissing former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's criticisms of the administration's fiscal policies as misleading, outdated, and lacking factual basis. Also, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, at the weekend said that Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara is the biggest political crisis that rocked the state. Wike further said the governor lost the opportunity to return for his second term in office because he was listening to and acting on wrong advice from his supporters who deceived him and worsened the crisis in the state. Now to election matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission has begun the public display of the personal particulars and academic credentials of presidential candidates for the 2027 general election. The exercise, which took off on Saturday, features documents submitted by President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress and his running mate, Vice President Kashim Shettima. Last on our stories on political brief this morning, former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani has described the long-running political rivalry between former President Olusegun Obasanjo and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as a conflict that may persist until one of the two political heavyweights dies. Joining us on Political Brief to discuss these stories is Arise Director of News and Politics Editor, Somna Sambo. Good morning, Somna. Good to have you on the show today.
Yeah, good morning, Nayo. Thank you so much. And we have a loaded pack today.
Truly loaded.
Well, all right, let me prioritize in terms of my own personal interest in the subject. First, the issue about the particulars of presidential candidates published by INEC. Now, some tissue-tattoo around the fact that the president of Nigeria, President Tinubu, did not disclose his primary school education, his secondary school education, and just reported that he has a BSc from Chicago State University in 1979. Some people have been saying, well, which secondary school, which primary school led to that degree? But I had a guest on This Day Live yesterday who said, well, this is not an issue, and that is not a big deal. And we have had this conversation in the past, and we should not distract the people's attention by bringing it up again. And in any case, if you check the relevant constitutional provisions, either in Section 131 or Section 318, President Tinubu doesn't even need a degree, or anybody at all, doesn't even need a school certificate successful result to become president of Nigeria, and that we shouldn't delay ourselves unnecessarily. A man who has been governor, who has been president, so why are we now saying he should go and bring an arm and a leg to prove that he attended the primary school or secondary school? I would like to know your thoughts on that. As for Baba Obasanjo and Atiku Abubakar, well, President Obasanjo made it clear at a forum involving Charlie Boy, that the biggest mistake that he has made in the public arena is his choice of Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, as his vice president. Well, isn't a man entitled to his own opinion about the choices that he made in the course of a long career in the public arena?
All right. Thank you, Doctor. I mean, you raised two critical issues there politically. Let's start with the first one. You see, this is the challenge that we have in nation building that we've been speaking about. We've had several parliaments since the return to democracy in the Fourth Republic. And we've always said that there are certain aspects of the Constitution that need to be properly amended to align with current realities. As it stands right now, President Tinubu is not in the wrong for what he has done. Because, you see, if you take a critical look at the submission of the Constitution, what it says, it's just an evidence that you have had some level of learning, that you can have an elderly person in your community to vouch for you, that you're somebody of a sound mind, that you have had some sufficient learning in some basics, and that if you've held a prior position before, there's practically no reason why we should go ahead to do this. And you see, when the issues came up before the Supreme Court last time, you see that they used technicalities to just push it out. Now, I had expected that the federal lawmakers would have been able to seek for, a constitutional review that will allow Nigerians to align with the current realities that, look, if you want to get a job in the private company right now, even in government agencies, the basics that they'll be asking for you, it's not primary or secondary school, is for you to eventually have a university degree. So I thought that our federal lawmakers, considering the controversy that happened in 2015, 2019 again with the Buhari school certificate, whether first school living certificate or so, they should have adjusted the Constitution to accommodate that. But they didn't. in 2023, we had the same thing. Between 2023 and now is sufficient time enough for us to have done that constitutional amendment. So as it stands right now, President Tinubu has just played on the system because there's no requirement. If you like submit your PhD degree, there's no reason why INEC should say that because you submitted a PhD degree that you've done something in the wrong or so. And if you like, you can submit a trade certificate or a testimonial or even a handwritten letter from your traditional ruler vouching for you and saying that in the past you've done this or that. And that will sufficiently qualify you based on what the law says to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this is what we have been saying. If you're looking for jobs here and there, the requirement will be high. But if you're looking for the number one job in Nigeria, the requirement constitutionally is not so high. So what are the senators and House of Representative members doing? Because I can tell you that in 2031, we're still going to face this problem again. So Nigerians should not totally be distracted from what's happening. Yes, I know that a lot of us are bitter because the basic requirement for being a president in contemporary Nigeria should even be a master's degree. But even if you do that, there's the other side that has to do with human rights. Look at the foundation behind the thinking of the forefathers of the country for allowing this provision to be in the constitution. It is for the ordinary Nigerian to be able to contest so that nobody will be pushed aside, so that it will go around to everybody. But that thinking, is this still realistic at the moment? That everybody has equal rights, that you should not push aside a farmer from becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria just because he did not go to school. Now, if we need a president that can run the sort of modern society that Nigeria has become, we need someone who's sufficiently educated for the times that we are in. And that's why you see people are angry and say that President Tinubu should have provided all of those. But there's nowhere legally that says that he must actually do that. And this has been tested in the courts. So it's a huge challenge for us. But I think Nigerians should hold our federal lawmakers responsible for refusing to do this, because the APC and its president that they provided have been problematic in this area. And if we allow Buhari's issue to distract us and Tinubu again, we may lose the major focus, which is what is the state of the economy right now? Can this government be reelected on the strength of its achievements in the economy, in terms of governance, in terms of sports, in terms of other things? Those are the critical issues that we should be looking at. Rating the executive based on the deliverables that have been achieved in the past 3 years. Is your power better than it was? Do you have enough food? What's the inflation rate in the society? In terms of job creation, we have a huge quantum of youth who are unemployed. What has this government done in terms of job creation? Let's not lose the debate, because we've been here before, and I can tell you the courts will not help. So let's focus on that. As for the issue of Obasanjo and Atiku that you talked about, you see, Obasanjo should not continue to pass the buck to anyone, because the fault was his. I mean, in 1998/99, Chief Solomon Lad, who was the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, handed over an envelope to Obasanjo then, when he was the candidate-elect of the People's Democratic Party. In that envelope, it contained 3 suggestions by the party from the 3 geopolitical zones of the north. From the northwest, we had Abubakar Rimi, former governor of Kano State. From the northeast, we have Adamu Chiroma, former central bank governor, and then journalist, editor of New Nigerian. And then we have from the north central, Professor Jerry Ghana, and the former PDP national chairman, Solomon Lad, told Obasanjo that, look, if you want to win this election, I would suggest that you go with Abubakar Rimi, because he comes from the northwest, and majority of the votes that we need to support the southwest can come more from the northwest. But Obasanjo left all of this and followed Tony Aneni's advice. Now, Tony Aneni was a strong man to Obasanjo, and the suggestion that Tony Aneni made was to suggest Atiku Abubakar to him, then who was the governor-elect of Adamawa State. And of course, Obasanjo now said that he would prefer to go with Atiku Abubakar, because Tony Aneni told him that he will sleep with 2 eyes closed if he decides to choose Atiku Abubakar rather than Abubakar Rimi, Adamu Chiroma, or Professor Jerry Ghana. And he went with Aneni's advice. So why is he blaming others or trying to make it look like it was a totally wrong decision? It was his own decision alongside with Tony Aneni. So he should lay the blame where it's supposed to be. I understand the problem that is having with Atiku Abubakar, which is very clear, that Atiku tried to usurp his powers in 2003. And that was why Tony Aneni too himself had a problem.
Can you apply the
and he was removed as Minister of Works.
No. When a man says, I made a mistake, how do you interpret that as blaming other people? If a man says, I made a mistake, that's accepting responsibility for a mistake. So how do you jump from that to say he should not blame other people? He's the one who made the mistake. He didn't abdicate responsibility. He said he made a mistake.
From the tone of Obasanjo, you will see that he was talking as if Atiku Abubakar was sort of like imposed on him. And I'll give you an instance why his talk can actually be calculated that way. The reason is because of a Sheikh whom he actually said that. But the other underlining part that Obasanjo is not saying is that he decided to go with Atiku Abubakar because Atiku Abubakar came from the offshoot of the People's Front of Nigeria, which was established during Babangida's regime when there was a time to convert new Greek politician by Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. Shehu Musa Yar'Adua was the second in command to Obasanjo. So he decided to comfortably align with Aneni and go with that choice because he came from a political camp that he was sufficiently okay with. So if you took all this decision, what concerns the public over the time? Why are you telling us every now and then you made this mistake? Why don't you move on from the mistake? What we need right now is a Nigerian president that Nigerians can go and be at home. And that's why I'm saying from the article camp. They're also saying that he's trying to support someone from the Southwest who is in power at the moment. But for what use so much is that conversation to the current Nigerian politics.
So Sumna, the question is this.
Nobody's bigger than
Should Nigerians go ahead with presidential candidates that cannot submit and tell us their primary school? Because Atiku Abubakar didn't submit his, he didn't tell us his primary school too. He said the end first school living certificate, he didn't submit his primary school and the secondary school that he went to. So should Nigeria not even know the beginning of these people? And as regards President Tinubu's case, Sumna, can you confirm to me that in the past he had actually submitted the primary school and the secondary school he went to, but it was after dispute ensued on those things that he did not submit them again? What's your input of that? Because, I mean, they've talked about Government College Ibadan, Home Science School, whatever, you know, St. John's, Aroloya, and all of that. So, and also, in terms of the places he worked, in the past, he had actually submitted Deloitte and Arthur Anderson. But this time around, it's just only Mobile putting them because of the fact that it was also discrepancies. So it's not only Tinubu. Atiku Abubakar didn't tell us the schools he went to.
When you surround yourself with sack, that's what happens.
I'm in meetings all day and trying to take notes during calls and remembering to follow up on everything after really slowed me down. That's why I switched to granola. All I do with granola is jot down notes on the
So
Rose, you don't like it.
Thank you so much for that observation. And that's the challenge that we're having. You see, because it is not expressly stated what you must do, what is compulsory for you to do, they are taking advantage of the system. As for President Tinubu that you talked about, don't forget former senior lawyer Gani Fayemi had taken him to court, and then of course there were issues here and there. And at the height of it, who was the person that took the blame on President Tinubu? Then he was the governor of Lagos State. It was Senator Tokunbo Afikuyemi. And Senator Tokunbo Afikuyemi is still alive. You can go to find out whether Senator Tokunbo Afikuyemi submitted those details or not. Because Senator Afikuyemi later went to say that he was that the error was from his own side, that he was the one who submitted wrong documents on President Tinubu, Governor Tinubu, as then he was. And so he took the blame. And because of that, those things were swept away. That's why President Tinubu didn't use those certificates any longer. Atiku Abubakar, the same thing. So they are taking advantage of the system. It's not compulsory. It's not compulsory that they must submit all of these issues of all of these certificates. So I would just plead with Nigerians: let's rise above this. As long as there are no legal encumbrances to this, let's rise above this and face other issues that can actually make the country, to move ahead. As we're heading to the election, August 19 is when the campaigns will start. Again, yes. What are the strengths of this government? You heard about the issues of the economy. Atiku is countering against it. Let's hear from Obi. Let's hear from Adebayo. What are the alternatives that they are going to have in terms of job creation? A lot of young Nigerians are young people. Indeed. What alternative policies will they be bringing that will be better than the Tinubu administration? Thank you so much. That should drive the conversation, not all of this that we've left behind us.
Okay. All right. So now, thank you very much for your time with us today.
Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. The release of the educational background and the credentials submitted by some of those who want to be president in 2027 in the presidential election races now raised yet again some transparency, constitutional eligibility, and public accountability issues, which is now become at the center of political discourse in the country. The publication by INEC we saw on Saturday is renewed attention on specifically on President Bola Tinubu, his nomination document, which lists his Bachelor of Science degree from Chicago State University, but left out the primary and secondary school sections blank, reviving the issues that feature prominently in the 2023 post-election litigation. While the courts have previously upheld President Tinubu's election, and legal defenders argue that a university degree satisfies the constitutional educational requirement, critics insist that complete educational disclosure enhances public confidence in the electoral process. So INEC, for his own part, has maintained his own duty and responsibility to publish documents submitted by candidates for public scrutiny and not to verify the authenticity of the credentials. So Does the controversy raise fresh legal question, or is it primarily a debate about transparency, political accountability, and electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 elections? Let's get started on this one. I'm being joined by what will make some kind of representation of the interest in some, not entirely underrepresented, but at least we get a sense of.
See this? This is a 400-ounce bar of solid gold. Back in the 20s, this could buy you a decent house, and so could this much cash. This is 8,260.
Some level of representation. Of course, we're expecting the NDC representation. Alwan Hassan is a member of the APC. Thanks so much, Mr. Hassan, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kalu is a member of the ADC and a lawyer. Am I right? Thank you so much, gentlemen. Yeah. It does look like ADC has a loud voice in this one because Atiku Abubakar's credential seems to be less of a controversy, isn't it?
Well, Atiku Abubakar doesn't have any issue in this respect because he was the one that approached the court in the United States to ask for the academic record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Chicago State University. And from the proceedings of the U.S. court, the court directed Chicago State University to release Tinubu's academic records to Tinubu. And when the academic records were released to Atiku Abubakar, we found shocking revelation from those documents. One, Bola Ahmed Tinubu committed first entry to Chicago State University that he attended Government College, Lagos, and graduated in 1970. When we now did a search, we found out that Government College, which Bola Ahmed Tinubu claimed he attended, was indeed established in 1974, 4 years later than when Tinubu said he graduated from that school.
We told you na PhD.
From the document released to
educated people
from the Chicago State University,
Tinubu
submitted a document from Cambridge University, all these GCE certificates from Cambridge University, which was also found to be false. So everything about Ahmed Tinubu's certificate is shrouded in forgery. Now, you know Ahmed Tinubu contested election in 1999. He deposed on oath that he attended one primary school, St. Paul's Primary School in Ibadan. He also deposed on affidavit that he attended Government College Ibadan. Today, what do we have in Tinubu's record? There is no information as to his primary school and his secondary school.
The Supreme Court has ruled on this matter.
Not at all. Not at all.
Supreme Court ruled in 2023 and said that he fell out of the legal time limit.
It was purely on preliminary issues.
So you're saying that the meat of the matter, the rest
of this matter has not been settled
so
by any court in Nigeria.
Is it possible that Atiku Abubakar is raising this as a legal issue again?
No, the issue.
What would I imagine?
No, it's not. The Supreme Court didn't touch on the merits of Tinubu's academic scandal. It didn't. Now, let's look at what the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides. In section 137(1)J, it says, election for office of president, if that person has presented a forged certificate to Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Then the question is, has Tinubu in any way presented forged certificates to INEC? And the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, the Constitution is supreme by section 1.
There is no which court? Just a moment, so that we don't. Just a moment, sir. The court. Let's
your own opinion is now a court.
What did the court say in the U.S.? Because the affidavit, the request to the U.S. court and to the school, the Chicago State University, are the facts before Nigerians and before the court. What did the court say with respect to the inquisition of Atiku Abubakar prior to the 2023 election? What were the submissions of the court in the United States?
The United States gave direction, ordered Chicago State University, because what Atiku Abubakar went for was for discovery of the academic.
If you were hurt in a car accident, stop what you're doing. This message is for you.
Because if you were
records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the U.S. court directed Chicago State University to release those academic records of Tinubu.
The court in the U.S. did not say whether Tinubu forged it. The court in the U.S. talked about gradation and validity of and could not even weigh in on whether the competence issue or forgery issue So that those were not determined.
No. Allow my flow.
No, just a moment, because I will allow Mr. Alwan to come and defend his principle.
Allow my flow.
What are the issues as of today?
The issues as of today, because you raised the issue of we raised the issue of what transpired at the proceedings at the U.S. court. The Abdullah Abubakar went for discoveries of the academic records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the U.S. court directed by another Chicago State University to release those academic records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And when it was released, it was found out that Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a very dangerous first entry, that he attended Government College, Lagos, and graduated in 1970, when indeed Government College, Lagos was not even in existence in 1970. It was established in 1974. That's one. Then two, one of the documents released was that Tinubu submitted University of Cambridge GCE certificate to Chicago State University, which was also found to be false. Now, what did I say? The only information supplied by Ahmed Tinubu to INEC was the Chicago State University certificate. The same certificate the school denied issuing to him in the 2023 proceedings. Now, on two fronts, one is that even the admission requirement for Chicago State University, Tinubu submitted forged entries, forged documents before he even gained that admission.
So you're saying invariably that President Tinubu is not fit to run in this election?
Not at all. Tinubu is not qualified to run this election. It's section 1, sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that this constitution is supreme and its provision binding on all authorities.
Can this matter be relitigated?
No,
if it's not settled?
The challenge is that the Supreme Court's decision on issue of pre-election matter says that it is only an aspirant that can challenge
another aspirant in the race.
And now there is Tinubu has emerged, and nobody from the APC is challenging. But the issue now is that is on section 29 of the Electoral Act. But the issue is the Electoral Act superior to the Constitution? The answer is no. If the Constitution says that by section 137(1)(j) that you are not qualified to run election if you have presented a false certificate to INEC, the question is what is the provision of the Constitution in respect of section 1(1) of the United States Constitution, which says that the Constitution is supreme and its provision is binding on all authorities and persons, including Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is the president of this country, that swore on an oath that he will uphold the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that says if you have presented a false certificate, you are not qualified to run. And he has submitted a false certificate. Why is he not getting the information he supplied to INEC in 1990 and 2003, where he on oath deposed that he attended one St. Paul's primary school that does not exist, that one college Ibadan. These are information in INEC, information that is clear to everybody. Till today, call Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, one thing is very simple on this issue. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, come and tell Nigerians which primary school did you attend, which secondary school did you attend. Even in 2022, the INEC document is submitted. He even claimed, he even had.
You travel a lot for work. You should be a part-time travel agent. There must be a better. No, I'm not going to say it. Let me just show you.
NYSC certificate, and his name on that NYSC certificate is Bola Adekunle Tinubu. So where did he get Adekunle from? Because he claimed that he graduated from.
What do you suspect? What's your submission tonight?
Forgery.
Suspect. Let me allow you. Just a moment, sir. Mr. Hawan, how do you defend your principal?
So
one hand, he's saying that he's not fit to run again in 2027.
So, but it's funny.
It's
funny that they are speaking without evidence, because he cannot present to us where Chicago University says this university certificate that the president has submitted to INEC is forgery. There is nowhere that the school has said it's forgery. One. Secondly, what the Constitution says is a school cert minimum or an equivalent. An equivalent of school cert is an ability to read and write. If you go to National Assembly, a lot of our members present secondary school cert. In fact, let me tell you, Shehu, one of the richest men before, the one person that was the richest man before in this world was a dropout from Harvard. Bill Gates. He's still one of our best when it comes to business in the world. It is not about education. These guys don't have anything to hold this man. He has delivered, he has done a lot in his first 4 years that no government in the past can match it. Let's say he has not even gone to the school. Let's talk about it. Doesn't matter. Let's stay on the matter. Let's say he has not even gone to the university. Tell me, hold on, let me die. Tell me what Jonathan's PhD has done to Nigeria. Tell me how Obi's BSc has helped improve his communication skills. Tell me what it has done to Atiku to help him navigate and concede I know the time to contest, I know the time to concede for the best person of the time. These guys are greedy guys. They don't have anything. They don't have any substance to hold this man. We are 3 to 4 years in government, and Asiwaju has done a lot. Let's talk about policies, my brother. Let's talk about what this man has done in his last 4 years.
Let's talk about merit. Does the president deserve to be on the ballot?
Absolutely.
That's the fundamental issue here. That he has all of these abilities, but can he prove? Because what are the question mark? The question mark on his identity, question marks on qualification. Question mark
are you talking about, Shehu? If he's asking of identity, can you tell us who Atiku's father is? Do you know Atiku's uncle? Have you ever seen Atiku's brother? Do we ask those questions? What is he talking about?
What's wrong with Atiku's uncle?
You should ask him. Does he know Atiku's father?
Ask me.
Do you know his uncle?
Let me answer.
Who is his father? Where is his father?
Why we are here?
Yes.
Why we are here is because we run a constitutional democracy where the law guides all our activities. The constitution, which is supreme in this
country. You are saying now. You don't believe in him as a person.
Please allow me to answer this question. We are saying the constitution says you must have at least 2 stars.
Or equivalent.
Yes.
What is his equivalent?
I'm coming. I will answer you.
With evidence.
Yes. Then the constitution
says is it not enough evidence?
Allow me.
Hold on. Is it not enough evidence? There's someone that was a senator, one-time senator, and a governor of a state that has become a country of its own. He made that state became a country of its own. Build a structure of democracy that every 2 years you have a local government election where there is none in this country. I don't see any state in the last 10, 15 years that conducts itself democratically to go for an election of local government every 2 years. You want to tell me a question that such a person, you have a doubt that he has the ability to read and write?
Did you go to primary school?
Yes, I did.
Which primary school is this?
Of course, primary school.
Do you have the certificate?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So that's what we're talking about.
Okay, let me tell you something. The certificate of my primary. Hold on. The certificate of my primary. Hold on now. My primary certificate, my secondary certificate, my university certificate hadn't helped me in what I'm doing today.
That is not the issue.
It is
the issue.
We're talking about evidence.
It doesn't give capacity. Hold on, Joe. It doesn't reach out capacity to deliver on the job given to you.
It's a moral and emotional matter.
It's not in the document. We employ entrepreneurs. I employ people that are best of me. I employ people that are first-class graduates, and I have to teach them the job. When you came out from school, you read arts and visual arts. When you came here, were you not taught how to do this? It's your passion. You do that. There are a lot of people in this place that did not read mass comm, but they are very good
to finish from school. So it's a basic minimum for you to get into this organization.
He has shown evidence that he had a BSc in Chicago State University. They don't have the proof that Chicago State University.
Where's the primary school certificate? Where's the secondary school?
But this constitution says shows one. He can show one. Some people show primary school. Some people show secondary school.
Mr. Kalu, is that enough?
There are people that are stand in this country. Mr. Kalu, there are people that are stand in this country. They are standing because they've not been to primary school.
Time to us so that I can respond.
Go ahead. I'm asking, is it enough? You are the lawyer.
It's not enough.
You have seen a man that has delivered to Nigerians. You have seen a man that has delivered to Nigeria. I gave you almost 10 minutes. I allowed him to say all he wanted to say and show you want to go back to him. I haven't finished. I gave him time to finish. Let me also that because they don't have anything in hand to the campaign.
There's a fundamental question here. Is a BSc Chicago State University sufficient?
It's not. The question is,
just imagine.
Hold on.
You read the constitution that it is a school site. It's Chicago State University BSc.
So call him to order.
Just remember.
Sorry, call him
go ahead and land on that thought.
The issue here is, has Tinubu or did Tinubu at any time present a forged certificate to INEC? That is the issue.
And what can we have your evidence that he did? Show us now.
You're invited to join Phoenix Energy's next webinar, where you can drill deeper into our bond offering. We currently offer 2 investment.
AGC and AP.
Everybody in Nigeria.
Is there an evidence that
Very well.
Where is it? Show us in your phone.
Please allow me. Okay. It's everywhere.
What is everywhere now?
Tinubu in 1999 presented to INEC that he attended St. Paul's Primary School. The evidence is there for Nigerians. So,
has he submitted it now?
Hold on. The question is, you are disqualified if you have submitted.
A judge himself.
Not perjury. That one is an issue. That one is a different issue altogether.
Okay.
The issue is the
Constitution said all this.
The Constitution says you are not qualified. Section 1371J. That a person is not qualified to run for office of president if he has submitted forged certificates to INEC. The question now is, Tinubu in 1999, Tinubu in 2003, Tinubu in 2003 submitted forged certificates to INEC. What are the forged certificates? One, Tinubu deposed on oath that he attended one St. Paul's Primary School, which is false. Two, Tinubu submitted to INEC that he attended government college in Ibadan, which is false.
He has said it.
Allow me.
Allow you what now? You've said it before.
Tinubu submitted NYC certificates to INEC that his name is Adekunle in 2003 and 2023. The question is, are these documents forged? If these documents are forged, are
you asking a question or you went to court to verify?
No, that is not. Are you sure?
Just a moment. Before I allow
judgment of the court, bring it out now.
The Constitution says that this Constitution is supreme and is binding on all authorities. I think the Constitution says.
And the Constitution has it that Asiwaju like.
Just a moment.
The documents are here.
Gentlemen.
Let people come out and tell Nigerians. The primary school attended and secondary school attended.
I told you,
Mr. Kalu, just a moment. Let me ask you. Just before I come to you. Mr. Kalu. Gentlemen, please. This is supposed to be a conversation.
I have told you, I'm not telling you that it has not helped me in my life.
Just a moment.
It doesn't give capacity.
Just gentlemen. Hello, Mr. Kalu. Mr. Kalu. Mr. Kalu.
The Constitution is very clear. If you have forged, then if you have forged,
evidence and go to court now.
What evidence are we talking about?
So go to court and say,
the Constitution has already said, if you forge, you're not qualified. It is for INEC to make sure that
so run to INEC now.
Gentlemen, let's have a civil conversation. Let's have a civil conversation. As a lawyer, let me ask you, as a lawyer, and he asked the question, and I'm coming to you just in a moment. He said, who are Atiku's relatives? You not answer those questions.
These are not relevant issues here.
So but you said you added Adekunle now.
Hold on. Let's have a civil conversation.
In respect of Tinubu's eligibility to run this.
But you had said he added Adekunle.
Can we please, we can hear ourselves out. Go ahead.
The law is talking about submission of forged documents.
Okay.
And our case, which all Nigerians know, is that Tinubu forged his primary school certificate. People forged secondary school certificate. That is why today those columns are vacant.
So now, finally, before I come to you, the question is that as it stands today, with all of the submissions that you have, can Atiku take him to court over this matter as a fellow candidate?
Okay. The issue is not whether Atiku will take him to court or not take him to court. The issue
is established that INEC may not be able to verify. It is for Nigerian people to verify. INEC is supposed to display what has been. The verification is not within INEC's prerogative.
No. When we talk about,
can INEC disqualify Bola Tinubu based on the facts that you have presented?
Sure, INEC can.
All right, that's your final thought tonight.
Asiwaju couldn't have ever lied with a foreign certificate as a BSc. If the Chicago University he claims to be forged is forged, can we have the evidence? Can they write to the university to now give them in writing that this certificate that Tinubu is presenting to Nigeria is forged? They've done it before, and if you remember, Omokiri went and wrote, and the school said it's genuine.
The school said the certificate we have here was not issued by the school.
We are totally out of time.
Can we have the evidence?
And Mr. Alwan answered.
The school said the certificate was not issued by the university.
Many thanks.
So can we have the evidence? Let me see.
You don't have it.
Hey, Osalo boy. Sorry. I have a couple videos. Now good day here with me today. I like. Don't tell when I hear this man talk. I like it. There's another video I was gonna bring.
As we're our guest, Professor Oke Ikechukwu is the Executive Director of Development Specs Academy, joins us from Abuja City. Prof, good morning and good to see you. Good morning, even though I can't see you from here.
My apologies.
I've lost connection here. Okay. I'm looking at a blank screen in front of me. I don't know if you're seeing me.
I can see you loud and clear. Don't worry, I'm sure they'll turn it on pretty soon. All right. All right, Prof. I don't know whether you have any intervention between on this salvo that is going on. So the Catholic Bishops Conference had met with the president, made their presentation as they see it, from security to the issue of elections to the issue of governance and the issue of the economy. The president also responded from his own standpoint. And then John Cardinal Icon, a lot spiritual, also went to grant an interview a few days later and gave perspective to some of the things that were said. And then all hell broke loose in terms of what the remarks are and what it shouldn't be and what should be. What do you make of it?
Well, what I make of it is that we're in a democracy, and in a big nation like Nigeria, there are what you call institutional pillars for good behavior. It includes the church, it includes the institutions of state, and it includes the presidency itself.
Thank you.
So the Catholic bishops, looking at the nation, concerned about a couple of issues they raised, like security, among others, well, they need to speak to the president.
Yep.
Now, what they did is part of what you call the feedback loop for good governance, where interest groups, individuals, institutions, and stakeholders take time to raise issues with those who should do something about it. So what they did is right. It's their duty to draw the attention of government to what some of their congregants are saying that's happening to them, and is happening to all of us. So that in itself is correct, is a proper thing to do. Now, the president's response from his own perspective also would seem to be, okay, for him, you said what you want to say, but this is what I think. Then when I caused the interview, he calmly and in detail brought out some of the issues they raised with the president and their reasons for doing so. Now, my take on this is fairly simple. In terms of the actual specific social problems they raised before the president, the bishops are right in their observations. I believe that most of the reactions, yes, they're understandable defense of government, but the question for me is, that defense, does it carry weight outside of those who are making the defense?
Bam!
Is it consistent with the experience of Nigerians? And all of that. So I believe they've done what they ought to do.
Yep.
Substantially, most of what they said, they are not satisfied with. I believe that they are correct in that regard.
Yep.
I also expected not quite the kind of response government gave, but again, people in government feel they have a duty to show two things. One, that they are on course, and two, that they are doing the right things. What I think they overlook is that they need also to worry about believability when they speak.
Bam.
And so they've made their view. If you take entries in the media, they can say, oh, 10 people said bad things about us, but we said 20 people, or we made 20 entries, so it's on our side. No. It's a question of truth. It's a question of citizen welfare. It's a question of the evidence before us. And in terms of the evidence before us as citizens all over the Federation, it is bad news, with all due respect to those who differ.
I didn't know you have already stopped, so I just wanted you to continue your remarks.
That's the guy
borrowing from issues raised at that meeting as well, Prof. If you were following, I'm hoping one of the things Cardinal Onoeko also spoke to was the appeal by the Catholic bishops for neutrality, for which the president guaranteed INEC's neutrality. The bishops were appealing for a level playing field for all members of the opposition to find expression in the electoral year. And so if we tied that to INEC's release of candidates list, which came through on Saturday, and its refusal of the manual submission of the presidential candidates put forward by a particular group, is that a test for INEC's neutrality? And has INEC passed based on the Supreme Court judgment that seemed to have settled the matter between the feuding PDP groups back then in May? What are your thoughts on this, Prof?
Well, beginning with the entire electoral process itself, the steps INEC has taken can be described as reassuring. In other words, there'll be no manual voting and all the rest of it. Whereas I have some optimism in that regard, I look at it also, and I invite all of us to look at it with a sense of recent history. Before Yakubu's election of 2023, our enthusiasm was beyond the moon. We expected the RF to work. We were looking at an electoral process that was unimpeachable under him. And therefore, everybody was sure that truth will prevail, the voters' performance will be respected, etc. What did we get? As a matter of fact, apart from Humphrey Nwosu, I don't think there's been any other time in Nigeria's history that Nigerians look forward to electoral credibility more than they did in the 2023 elections. So, whereas I will commend INEC for what we are seeing on the table, I would urge caution in terms of excitement. Because it's one thing to tell us all of this, is another thing for that to be what will happen on the day of election. If you say there'll be no manual entry, and then as the election takes place, you find a general collapse of one thing or the other, either the grid or the network or the internet, and it can be contrived. So let's be a little cautious in that regard. That's a major response to those announcements. But the thing to consider, okay, if you also look at the court judgment and the release of names and details by INEC, all of them are things people will look at and say, look, this it looks like we're about to have democracy at last. It looks like this government is ready to have a level playing field, etc. But if we look at that against the context of a lot of other things that's going on, most states of the federation now belong to the same party. That's number one. Number two, if you also look at the desperation you find in the political process, if you look at the pronouncements of those in government, if you look at the rumor, mischief I will call it, I don't know whether it's true or not, that for 3 years on, the capital budget has practically not really been expended, and it's all being warehoused for elections, and that if the money you give is not enough, the solution is more money. Whether that is true or not, I do not know. But if you recall your last guest spoke about budgetary allocations, that's Magnus and the rest of it. And I'm glad one of you asked the question about what is budgeted and what is released. As at probably 6 weeks or 2 months ago, about 6 weeks, the army had gotten 7%. I believe it would have improved by now. But the point to make is that 7% by the middle of the year, and you're supposed to be fighting insecurity, that's very unsettling, among other things. So it will seem to present a very exciting front. We're looking forward to it. I have not been more excited about an election than I was in 2023. But look at the result. It was a major, major painful national embarrassment, with all due respect to those who differ. And the INEC chairman has also said, he had made pronouncements, that's the current INEC chairman, he has made pronouncements that give us a lot of hope. The materialization of that is another matter. As for a level playing field, I'm not calling for a level playing field. I'm calling for a field with clear rules of engagement, with enforceable penalties for misconduct, and with institutions of state that have credibility. And that includes the police and the rest of it. Let's note one point. INEC is not to protect electoral materials. That's the job of the security agencies. INEC is an election behavior monitor, regulator. That when you come, this is what you do and go. If they carry the ballot box, it's not INEC that will chase you. And more than 80% of those are not INEC office regular staff. So put all of that together. Please let us be cautious in our optimism, because the political behavior around this election we are preparing for are extremely unsettling, and one which gives me some reason for pessimism, notwithstanding the obvious, if you like, institutional checks and balances being announced on television.
Should we be concerned when the president uses phrases like all is fair in politics?
Should we be concerned? Should we not? If you say all is fair in politics, it means there's nothing like morality. It means there's nothing like right and wrong. It means that even what is forbidden as evil by the Quran, that you can do it because you're in politics. It means that even what is forbidden by the Bible as evil, what is forbidden by our culture, what is forbidden by natural justice, equity, and good conscience, you can do it. After all, is politics. No, I don't think that paradigm will give us a good society or improve any society or improve the moral standing of anybody. All is not fair in politics. There's a difference between right and wrong. But the president's statement takes us back to the reality we are facing, namely that the government has consistently acted, if you like, in line with this belief. So a section of insensitivity among other things. So that may be why, but I don't agree. I don't subscribe to that perspective at all. I think I lost my earpiece.
If you got hit, even if you were not driving, you need to try this.
Because if you were in a car accident in the last year, you could be owed a...
Catholic Church, don't they shake everywhere?
Well, while we wait for Prof to get his earpiece back on, there's so many more things to reflect on from that particular meeting, particularly the president's pushback on the records of his administration as far as the eradication of poverty is concerned. When the Catholic bishops, presented the records, as not particularly working for Nigerians, and the president said we're on a sound footing, and that's where I want the Prof to reflect on, combined with his other comments when he said that hunger existed before he was born. How does that sit well with the promises of the administration, particularly at the onset? to transform the economy with the economy, to Nigerians, that this will eventually trickle down to the grassroots. Prof, I hope you got it.
Well, I got part of it, not the earlier part. So if you want to mention probably the first 30 seconds.
Yes,
before you even do that, let me register my protest about the earpiece. I suspect it's a village people of one of you that interfered with it, and I urge you to desist.
Certainly not from here.
Let's have the question, compressed a little so I can get it all together.
Yes, indeed.
I missed most of it.
The president's pushback on the concern that the economic reforms are not working for Nigerians, and his subsequent comments about hunger existing before he was born, and so the poor will always be with us. In fact, some of his other spokespersons have doubled down on that particular comment. How worried should we be about that?
Well, I'm a little concerned about that statement because it suggests some level of insensitivity, and it's probably not the best thing to say now because it doesn't. The government is carrying out reforms, no question about that. The intentions behind the reforms are very good, no question about that. But reforms are for human beings, and this government has been in place for 3 years going forward. The specific questions to ask in terms of impact is: are food prices better now? What was it when they came in and what is it now?
Bam.
Has poverty rate gone up or gone down? Has the value of the naira improved? The government will tell you that, look, we've stabilized the naira now. I mean, for many months, it now is between if you like, 1,400 to the dollar and 1,005. Sometimes even come to 135, 138,000, 1,380 and co. Stability, wonderful. Can you do any business with that? What it means is that companies whose total value was, say, 100 million, and they were doing imports, today their total value is about 1/3 of that. That means they have had to sack people. That means the total volume of business has declined. That means the space they are in has also reduced. And the point I'm making that connection, particularly reference to the naira, is I ask, if a man is unconscious, falls down and is not breathing at all, this is a man who should be playing football, but he fell down and has stopped breathing. And you work on him until he is now awake and breathing. For 2 weeks, he's unconscious. Is he a footballer? Can he take part in a football match? So when you celebrate stability, the stability must have a connection to life, to people, among other things. I will not fault the spokespersons of government in their perception of impact. They enumerate the reforms. They will also go ahead, and some of them will say that, look, prices are coming down. People are not acknowledging the efforts of this government, and that's why I think they get it wrong. Prices are not coming down. Insecurity is worsening. Not denying that government is making effort, but it is getting worse, among so many other indices. If, for instance, you have some government functionaries who are not so blatantly, permanently in denial, probably there will be some level of believability. But the upfront, if you like, counter-offensive, we are doing everything, people are not, who believes you? So not whether you said anything, but whether people, okay, all of you on this set, you're working. I believe all of us have cars. Before this government, I'll fill my tank with, I think, 11,000. Yeah, between 9 and 10,000, full tank. Today, you fill it in 107,000. You fill the tank and use it for about a week. Where are you going to? Are you going to heaven at that cost? And assuming I'm on a regular salary, what have my salary done? They say government has moved the salary from 30,000, I think, to 70. Can you imagine the increase? Nigeria should appreciate it. That's not the point. The point is the impact of that increase on citizen welfare. At the same time that salary has gone up by over 50%, other costs the salary is supposed to address, many of them have gone up by 400%. These are the facts. Remember that the fuel card subsidy thing came up and it was supposed to be remedied by CNG. Now, the intention of the government in making sure, in cancelling the subsidy is commendable. But the CNG, as we speak, if you have a CNG car and you've converted, go to the stations and see whether you can get CNG, among so many other challenges that the people are facing. So those are the concerns on the basis of which most persons of government should kind of step it down a bit. Because it's almost like some kind of triumphalism. Oh, you're not even appreciating what you're doing. What do you mean? What's wrong with you? I'm not sure that's how it works. You have a wife, you're marrying your wife, you're doing your best. That's not the same thing as saying you hold her neck to the ground and you're punching and saying, you can't do this. I'm working, I'm trying very hard. That's not how life works. Government communication should, in my view, demonstrate greater sensitivity to the facts on the ground. I believe there's a challenge with their feedback system, and I believe that the combative posture of government is not at all helping matters in terms of public perception.
Bam.
Prof, there are so many things. Now that you talked about the issue of CNG, I think they earmarked 100 billion, if my data is correct, last year, 2024, I can't remember the exact year, for about 3 CNG buses, which is supposed to cushion the effect of transportation, but I don't know how that has come through. But before we, we'll come back to this issue of the interaction with the president and the Catholic bishop and generally the state of the economy. And I would like us also to touch on security. But let's talk about this president's credential issue that never goes away. In my initial comments that we're talking about, I said the president knows that in perpetuity there are 3 things you have to deal with. And I think perhaps he has made peace with himself. The issue of the civil forfeiture of $460,000 in the 90s related to drug. It was a civil forfeiture, not a criminal conviction or indictment. So to that extent, he's not been found guilty by any court. And the issue of being able to satisfactorily explain the source of his wealth, given the war chest that he's claimed to have. And then the issue of his credential. Now, the credential is out in terms of publication by INEC. And then it has come out again because this was an issue in the last election, I think, during the petition itself. What do you make of it? No primary school, no secondary school, but there's a university, of course. The Constitution requires minimum school cert, so it doesn't ask for maximum, so you can go as far as you want.
If you got hit, even if you were not driving, you need to try this.
Because if you were in a car accident in the last year.
Point number 1. This issue is not near as you said. Before we address the details down here, I'll ask all of us. We always speak of the international community that is interested in transparency, in good governance, in the rule of law, etc. I made this comment after the 2023 elections. Where is the international community today?
Bam.
Where were they in 2023?
Bam.
What does it mean to tell us that court records cannot be released in the service of democracy in Africa because you're protecting the private, the human rights or whatever of the candidate? That's where to begin all of this. Because assuming there's no international involvement in this whole business will have ended. Probably he wouldn't have contested.
Yep.
So, and these are the ones who come to monitor elections, who will tell us about due process, who will tell us about all sorts of things. So, step number 1, dismiss the illusion that there is something called international community resting on the best values of right and wrong and determined to give Africa everything that the first world deserves. That's the first point. The second one is that if indeed INEC would dare to publish what it has done, INEC should also dare to make a pronouncement on the eligibility of the candidates whose names and credentials are published in terms of whether they are qualified based on what is published to contest the next elections. It is also for interested stakeholders, Nigerians, to look at the records and say, I'm taking this matter up, I'm going to court, but that presents a mild challenge. Recall that General Buhari, late former president, also had the challenge of school certificate. At a point, they procured one and showed it with his passport. It just happened that the passport on the certificate was a passport of him as president in his 80s. How he was able to take the school cert at that time, and then fast forward to this time, looking exactly like this, I do not know. You'll also recall that the military officer who once made public statements about the former president not having anything in their record showing the school, go and check what happened to his career after that event or that incident. So this is a touchy one, but the government has been riding roughshod on these matters, and many spokespersons of government will tell you till tomorrow, to the extent that there's not a court pronouncement on this, to that extent we have nothing to worry about. Now, you call truth, good conscience, and propriety, that this matter only appears to make untrue the foundation of everyone reading it that is standing on. So it's not a funny matter. INEC must go for that. You published it, INEC should receive petitions. It's not INEC that petition, but if INEC sees from the qualification that you do not meet the criteria or a single criterion for eligibility, INEC should go for that to make that pronouncement. But I believe that from the publication, actually I've not seen as much heat as I expected on the publication. I thought the roof was going to come down from activists and other sundry groups, but it looks like that's not happening. I don't know whether it's fatigue, because a lot of people were sure that he wouldn't contest in 2023 because of that. Forfeiture, stories about drugs, all kinds of things floating in the air. Then the conspiracy against him from the presidency, if you recall. There were forces from within his party that didn't want him to contest. If you could get around all of that, defeat that, knock out the international coalition and emerge president, the opposition should wake up from speech making and know that they are yet to get the strategy with which they can displace the incumbent government.
And you talk about propriety. I wonder how that also trickles down to the electorate themselves in terms of maturity, because it is the electorate that also helps to the polls that decide. While there could be debate over the legitimacy of the votes handed down to the victorious candidate in the elections, but that's where we are anyway. So. Say about the electorate themselves, because some would say people are deserving of the kind of leader.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, let's not deceive ourselves. We're getting the value we ask for. When you want, if I'm a politician and I want to rig election, I'll not be the one to do it. I'll deploy people. They will accept money. If you're a voter and I want you to vote for me and I give you money and you accept it, you've already said it doesn't matter who I am. Yeah. It doesn't matter what I do. 4 years, you've got your share. So if I give you 10,000 naira to vote, I've settled you up front for 4 years at the rate of 2,500 naira per annum, and you dare not talk to me.
Yep.
So when people are saying, oh, there's corruption, we want democracy, there must be, and that's where the job of the parties are. Political mobilization must involve political education about choice. Yeah. You're not mandated to make a choice because somebody has given you money. You're the one entering inside the polling booth yourself. So when you also have not matured to the point of connecting your suffering with the type of people you choose to rule you, this suffering will continue. Schools are shut down. This government is not paying lecturers. Which government has ever really paid them well? But more importantly, those whose children are not going to school, what did they do during elections? Did they make the right choices? Did they consider that when you don't have the right people, the right things won't happen?
That's true.
So it is true. Leadership, everything depends on leadership. What kind of leadership do you have? All of you on this side now, as moderators of this program, if you are all made ministers today, what will your friends expect of you? One person will call you tomorrow, oh, he needs 5 million naira, his business is having challenges. Your cousins will start celebrating their turn has come. Your old students association will forward you the bill for rebuilding a new auditorium in the school. And if you go there and donate 100 million, they will clap. They're supposed to be the ones asking you, where did this money come from?
Yeah.
When you go to church, you sit in front. When you go home, the traditional ruler gives you a chieftaincy title. Now, these are the pillars of morality that ought to restrain you. That your uncles or your extended family will say, come, brother, what is going on? 2 last year, you could barely feed. Now you have 6 cats. I hope you've not gone on evil ways. Your pastor or your imam will call you and say, my son, the ways of this world are unclear. Can you tell me what's going on?
Easy, welcome, for sure.
You see, we give titles only to those who want young people to emulate. It is not happening. And these institutions for morality and social integrity, if they are comprehensively violated, my dear, what do you expect? So who are those angelic followers that if you bring a good leader today, people will start dancing? We need a good leader, but that good leader must have the will and must have the lieutenants.
Yeah.
Social expectations are part of the problem, but they cannot handicap a leader who is serious. It's about leadership signaling.
That's
the examples you set will compel people to begin to control their expectations until progressively they will not want people to represent them who they don't respect, who they know to be dishonest, etc. But I think one of the greatest, but I will leave that one there. You take the next point.
Yeah, Prof, we've literally run out of time, but I think I can just squeeze in 2 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I'm told we're totally out of time. I wanted military spending and all of that, but my producer said we're totally out of time. But I must thank you, Prof, for always coming through with that deep insights of yours. Professor K. Kechuku, Executive Director, Development Specs Academy. We've been speaking with him on issues of the state of the nation.
Guy dropped great points, great analysis there. I thoroughly enjoyed that interview. No lies detected. All right, let's move on.
No president of our nation should give us any excuse as to why he shouldn't fix the nation. You don't have any excuse. We are seeing so. We say no, one fry akara. Who do us this thing? It may sound fun, but it's not. I've sat down to look at Mr. P2B's life. Honestly, I see my life in that house. When I just sit down, just look at when he's talking, this is exactly different. He kept saying, I only have one house in Onitsha. What is all this problem? When you he has a house building in Kenya, in UK, but he has not gone there for 5 years. Vanity. We don't understand. That's why we feel we can impoverish people. A man who has been helped seek to help others. No president of our nation should give us any excuse as to why he shouldn't fix the nation. You don't have any excuse because it's obvious. We don't need assistance. We know ourselves. It's we. So a man says, give me this thing. This is the assurance. Let me help. It's our nation. Let me help put it together. 4 years after, if I cannot deliver, I drop it and go. I was telling Brazil something. One of the debutants in this ongoing World Cup is Cape Verde from Africa. Cape Verde has not lost any match. They have drawn all their 3 matches. In fact, they qualified for the round of 32. Their goalkeeper is 41 years. When that guy finished that match, he was the man of the match and he was crying. Guess what he did? He took the flag of Cape Verde and raised it up. In between that Cape Verde flag is the head of Peter Obi. He said, my mother could not come to watch me in my first World Cup. Why? Because he was denied visa by the United States. That is what the African continent is suffering. That's what they are suffering. Because of your color, because of the corrupt government. And the guy was shouting. He says, why I'm crying and putting this man? He says, this man here is the hope of the African continent. He said, I'm not from Nigeria, but have you sat down with him? Hope of the Africa. A man in Cape Verde, blue sea, is seeing what we here don't see. Because once it starts from Nigeria, I need approval to enter Ghana. I want to enter Togo. They stop me. Togo. We go for peacekeeping, peace in nations, to secure their borders, bring settlement in nations in Africa. Our military are crying out for Boko Haram. Who do us this thing? Then we are seeing solution. We say no, one fry akara. An advice. If your children come back December, I say, what are you doing in Lagos? How is Lagos? How is everything? Mommy, I sell akara. You go to church and say, first world countries, they are there. You see people aiming. Advice. Then every day a man is weeping and say, give me this thing. I just want to help. Give me this thing. Let me help. If you try a thing, it didn't work, you didn't know how to, you give another person this try. If truly what we are looking for is one thing, except what we are looking for is not the same thing. It may sound fun, but it's not.
All right. Moving along.
I asked my own people, who are young people as well. I said, what are we going here to say? They said, no, they want you to come and give speech or what? And we said the team of this thing. I said, okay, when we get them to see what they want us to
say. This is in Babcock University.
So, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And again, gratitude to them for inviting me. And I must sincerely thank you for your kind words and comments. And yes, I'm a politician today. But I can tell anybody, if there's anything I can, if I have a opportunity of questioning God in my life, I would say, why did I have to get God from my comfort place? But wherever we find ourselves, that's where God wants us to be. And we must try to do whatever we do by grace. And that's what I've done for my life. Wherever I find myself, I take it that I'm here by the grace of God. And I must serve, I must not use His grace. Whether it's the back of the corporate or private business, or in the government as a government. And that's what I urge all of us to go around and preach when we have the opportunity. In Anambra State, for example, I visited every university, private. I visited secondary school, but that's private. That was why when I came in this one, I wanted to know when they started, which I've been told a brief history, a very great history, of how I didn't know you were that old. Because you told me about secondary school, why secondary school, how you were not taking over after the Civil War, and how you went in and all that. Maybe you in Anambra State, they're taking you over, I would have returned it to you because I felt it was wrong. You are taking over schools from the original owners. I ran the background. You took them over, I ran the background. And I felt, give it back to whoever is the owner. And that's up to the owner, I will solve the country of different. For me, we have a country. And that country should not in any way be served by religion or by tribe. Not tribe by religion in Nigeria. No religion by religion. I've been to countries all over the world. They're serving their people. There's poverty, there's difficulties. Nigeria has not been just like Africa in the way it should be, because we give one exclusive of the other. And I thank you for what you said. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. I went to Indonesia last year, a country that is 95%. So I shocked when the Pope Francis visited there in October 2024. I met the president. I asked him, if you care for the college, he said it's a very great thing to have with them. And he all went to the stadium, he was painting them. If you care for the college, I went to see the shop also. I saw the status of Jesus Christ in front of his palace, and I asked him, I was surprised, though. Someone said it was given to him by his grandfather, by Pope Vincent. And I said, no, you will never see, no way. Ever live our palace. So, the reason why tribe and religion is at forefront of whatever we do is that those who are incompetent, we are going to offer, like you have professors, use it as their own certificate for what they are seeking. And that's what we want to do. We want to stay in Nigeria, where every Nigerian will be proud to be a Nigerian, where a child of nobody can be somebody without knowing anybody. There's a lot. I use Indonesia because they are populated and I told about 280 or 230. If you go there, you could see what's happening. You know, when there was already a book called Growing Apart. Most of the book Growing Apart is a book written by Professor Woods. It talks about Nigeria and Indonesia. How one went this way and one went this way. So I decided I went to the US. So I was talking about the book. After talking there, I decided to go to Indonesia, where I was able to speak from Minister of Planning, Minister of Education, Minister of Health, small villages, Vice President, and President was someone President. To see what happened to us and what happened to them. They have more tracks, more language, more developed. Yes, they've been able to bring all this and move forward when I want to study moving forward. So thank you. I can tell you, I definitely come back. I'm impressed. I told the person who's taking me long. I told you, when I go into any place, just yesterday, I was asking somebody. I said, when last did our leaders visit secondary university where our children go to school? I visited every secondary school in Anambra State. Every secondary school. And every secondary school senior prefect and my phone number to reach me down. I visited every university. I said, when last I leaders go to see dormitories, facilities, like restrooms where our children pass through. That was the university. So I got to do something. I know that during every school. I said, well, today we have legislators, we have senate.
Welcome, Dr. Damages. Oh my God. Good to see you here. You say now you feel better about what you do and have your say.
One single investment.
What point are you trying to? What point is that?
So if you invest in
Dr. Damage, you are still with us. What point?
What is happening in education institutions? Invest in it aggressively and be able to turn around the country. So I think what I've seen here so far, for me, very, very good. And I thank you.
Dr. Damages, do you have your PBC?
Received by the president. I met two presidents this month.
Yeah,
I met the president. When they introduced me to the team, they introduced me to all female. And I said, I hope it's not what we're going to expect in our country, where women will take over. So seeing you makes it a difference. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Wonderful.
It's also customary for us to appreciate that because this is the one who investments as the general thing provided some gifts to the president.
This is talking like the pastor the Bible.
I actually do have one. I think it will get to you before you start like this.
Sign that in this.
I'll sign that. It was actually specially made in one of our leading universities in America. And in Michigan. Very special Michigan. Oh, wow. It's a good time to go. It's not cold yet. I spent 6 years of my life there. Yes. And Andrews University is very close to South Bend. That was great. In fact, this university at its beginning had affiliation with that. So several of our graduates, those who did some years, they have finished over there.
You know when you say it's done by the church?
Yes, sir.
I was telling them that all the famous universities around the world were funded by the church. You don't know, you go to Cambridge, Oxford, Harvard. Yeah, and the use of it is that if you go to Cambridge, you go to Oxford, they preserve how the Oxford. Then you go to Oxford and you see where the federal censor live, you can hardly enter. You go to Harvard and everything. That pass through Cambridge, Oxford, Harvard. Then we also the church. Because they used to be. That's why they should allow them to go to support them.
Happy New Year, don't you? Oh, I see what you mean. The way people scream while that was a funny one. That was comic relief for me. Oh my God.
You talk about race a lot today.
Because they shout too, that's right. Argument. It's necessary, honestly. I thoroughly enjoyed that segment on Channel News. Watching APC and APC go back.
It's not coming up, we already got it.
Dr. Damages, have you collected your PVC? Yeah, this PVC check, oh. No story, oh. Everybody, all hands must be on deck. Yeah, this is an election for our lives. Okay. Let's move on. They're done. They're just not taking pictures. Anywhere you see Peter Obi, they must take pictures. I never see. All right, let's move forward. That was at Babcock University. I think he was invited. All right, here's a song.
Take my life, give me rice. Take my job, give me rice. Keep me poor, give me
they don't do song for Tinubu.
Take my security, give me rice. Take my health and give me rice. Thank you, Nigeria, for giving me rice. Thank you, and I wait for more. Take my life and give me rice. Take my joy.
Hey, now Tinubu wants to buy people. All right, battle of the geriatrics. Atiku is throwing punches. Tinubu is throwing punches. Whose side are you on? You are an economic wrecker. This is from Maximum's handle on Twitter. 767 factories shut, 335 in distress. You are not qualified to run for a second term. Atiku tackles Tinubu on economy. And the person on the Twitter handle says, me, Atiku don't finally wake up. I wish his online minions will amplify his criticisms like the obedience. Tinubu needs no mercy. I'm telling you, everybody needs to be swinging at APC right now. Everybody. Now, let me read this tweet by Professor Chidi Odikalo, okay, that he wrote about this, the outing with Cardinal on how do they say his name? Cardinal Onayekan, right? He says when he left high school, meaning when the Cardinal left high school in 1962, he was 18. His grades were so outstanding. The Premier of Northern Region, Sir Ahmadu Bello, asked to see him and offered him a free check to the best anywhere in the world, to the best school. I think that's probably what he was trying to write. The man said thank you and headed off to priestly formation. 64 years later, an organized crime ring led by a man with no verifiable record of having gone to school wants to do a royal rumble with a man who gave up on worldly things as a teenager. There can be only one winner, and it will not be the criminals. I'm telling you, this fight with the Catholic Church, if it starts to sweet my belly, I say may all Catholics rise everywhere. All right. Let's move on. Okay, let's listen to rants.
For there is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be wrong. 07, that's 2007, over 20 years ago. That's when I shall sing this song. Since that time, up to now, nobody is still running. Everybody is still looking. Fire on mountain. Fire, I tell everybody I've seen these videos by now. It hurts my soul. It hurts my heart. These are human beings. See the way they are begging because there is hunger in the land. Yet some people are there criticizing Cardinal that why will he expose private meeting? Because he said country is bleeding. They say, oh, he's partisan. Oh, he belongs to Peter Hanipe. There is fire on mountain. Nigeria like this is in a state of emergency. Make money. As long as you make money, you go enjoy Nigeria. As long it will reach a point. And you and your money, nothing. That's what's important. Everybody has to come outside and begin to talk. What is really going on in the country? There is no security. Yet, you go to event. If you drive car, everybody is envying that car. If you reach a point, all this one they are begging, okay, okay, give me money. Okay, they will not beg anymore. They will not beg. They will take it. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I need a break from this country. I don't know. I don't understand. The way footballers used to do transfer, that they will force out a move. I need to force a move. I need to force out timeout. Referee timeout. Who is my coach? My coach, please. Can you remove me? Can you transfer me? I need a transfer. That's an nasty one tweet. Someone said, when I was doing my BSc, I used to think revolution is the solution to Nigerian problem. He said, but after my several touch points with reality, I have come to higher realization that in our bid to set towards El Dorado, if by chance we do revolution, you and I that are claiming we are intelligent, we are going to be the first people. They'll take you out.
One time.
Hey, poverty, it will not affect me and my family. It will reach a point, and you and your family, you are not going to be safe.
I'm telling you, fact.
Because everybody is individualistic. Nobody concerned about the collective. Nobody is concerned. It will reach a point. Until you and your family, you will not be safe anymore. You will not be safe anymore because we are in a state of emergency. Government is the last to find out. Oh God, did it go? Oh God. I said, I need a break from this country. I need a break. Hey, referee, stop me now. Stop me. Stop me out. Stop me out. Make another person take man. Stop me out.
Oh boy, you don't everybody now. So when we they shout 2022-23, our voice crack. Make I read waiting the Catholic Laity Committee of Nigeria writes. Make I clear my throat. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, Catholic Laity Council of Nigeria, National Secretariat. Press statement from Catholic Laity Council of Nigeria, date 2nd August 2026, on the alleged breach of trust by His Eminence Cardinal John Onayekon. The National Executive Council of the Catholic Laity Council of Nigeria, CLCN, representing over 38 million Catholic laity in Nigeria. All ye Catholics, all of you, if you fall into this 38 million, fall out. Fall out. We need you right now. 38 million of you need to take up the baton. Una need to jump, enter this fight. Okay, I move forward. Has taken note of the presidency's reaction to the interview granted by His Eminence, Cardinal John Onayekon, regarding the recent private meeting between His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria. We wish to state as follows. You see, as their letter straightforward. No rigmaroling. Pam, pam, pam. Siam. From date, the what it is regarding, bam, point, pa, 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 pa. You see, straightforward. Number one, prophetic role of the church. The Catholic Church in Nigeria, by virtue of the gospel and Catholic social teaching, has a God-given duty to speak truth to power, to defend the vulnerable, and to hold leadership accountable with truth and clarity. This is not abuse of privilege, but the fulfillment of pastoral responsibility. The bishops, priests, and laity are called to be the salt of the earth and light of the world. Matthew 5:13-14. Even in the corridors of power. On privacy, issue 2, and public interest. While we respect the sanctity of private engagements, matters that touch on the life, welfare, and future of over 200 million Nigerians cannot remain forever in closed rooms. When national issues of economy, security, and justice are discussed, the people have a right to know the direction of leadership. Cardinal Onayekon did not reveal secrets. He shared the moral concerns of the church and the response of government, which is in the public interest. 3, no malice, only concern. We know Cardinal Onayekon to be a man of peace, dialogue, and integrity. His intervention was not to embarrass government, but to call the nation to conscience. A disagreement over facts, as the presidency rightly noted, should not be read as arrogance. Neither should a pastoral reflection be read as a breach of trust. 4, church and state, partners in nation building. CLCN believes that government and church must continue to work together for the common good. We urge both the presidency and the church to sustain the channels of dialogue. Nigeria needs moral voices now more than ever. Conclusion: we stand in solidarity, underlined, heightened, bold, with His Eminence Cardinal John Onayekon and the CBCN. We call on all Nigerians to pray for our leaders, for we prayer for waiting, and to support policies that bring relief to the poor, security to our communities, and justice to all. May God bless Nigeria. May God bless the Catholic Church. Omo, if you're a Catholic, just dey raise your shoulder, put shoulder pad, join. Okay, now let's come to, I know now, these Yoruba people are a Yoruba group on Twitter. They do serious damage.
We are going to talk about Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso.
So let's listen to their
our
breakdown
vice
of
presidential
Rabiu.
candidate for the 2007 presidential election. Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was born on 21st of October 1956 in Kano to a Fulani Genaya family and a Muslim family. The Genaya has produced learned Islamic clerics, judges, politicians, and leaders such as Aminu Kano, Murtala Muhammad, Inuwa Wada, and Aminu Wali, among others. So the family and the the general Muslim family, it's a very popular family in Kano. They are highly influential in terms of politics. Muhammad Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was born.
Distraction àwọn ọmọ Bọ́lá yìí ẹ má jẹ́ ká máa reply comment wọn ẹ jẹ́ kó máa ṣe ní wọn wọn bá ẹ jẹ́ kí n tẹ recording sílẹ̀ so yeah, I'm going.
All right, so we want to get to know our vice presidential candidate, Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. He was born October 21st, 1956 in Kano to a Fulani Genewa Muslim family. The Genewa family has produced learned Islamic clerics, judges, politicians, and leaders such as Aminu Kano, Murtala Muhammad, Inuwa Wada, and Aminu Wali, among others. Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso is a Nigerian politician who has served as governor of Kano State. Kano State is the most popular state, the most populated state in Nigeria from 1999 to 2003. And then he served again in 2011 to 2015. After he lost his re-election in 2003, he was appointed the first Minister of Defense of the Fourth Republic with no prior military background from 2003 to 2007. At his time when he was serving as the Minister of Defense, there was no banditry, there was no kidnapping, there was no Boko Haram, there was no this kind of insurgents that take people, take students and all of that. Under the administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo, he succeeded Alhaji Theophilus Danjuma and was succeeded by Yahya Ahmed as a Minister of Defense. He later was elected into the Senate in 2015. He served one term under the platform of the APC representing Kano's Central Senatorial District. He was the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives in office between December 5, 1992 to 17th of November 1993. He was appointed or elected the same period with Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a senator during the pre-1993 election. Before that, Senate was dissolved. He was a member of People's Front of Nigeria, PFN, in 1989. He was a member of Social Democratic Party, SDP, between 1989 to 1993. He was a member of Progressive Congress, APC, from 2014 to 2018. He was a member of People's Democratic Party from 1998 to 2014, and again 2018 to 2022. He was a member of New Nigerian People's Party from 2022 to 2023, member of African Democratic Congress in 2026, before joining the Peter Obi movement to NDC. He went to the Federal University of Technology, Zaria, and then he also attended Middlesex Polytechnic in Leboro. Kwankwaso was elected for his first term as the governor of Kano State from 29th of May 1999 in this dispensation of democracy to 29th of May 2003. His first tenure as the governor of Kano State was a very eventful because of several other groups who were opposed to his high-handed governorship and his attempt at supporting Yoruba President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2003. He lost the re-election to his rival Ibrahim Shakarau, and then the second term, Kwankwaso was re-elected for a second term in office as governor of Kano State from 29th of May 2011 to 29th of May 2015. During this time, he set out to he did a lot of work with his political structure that he established called the Kwakwansia movement. That is the most vibrant movement in the history of Nigeria as of today. Kwakwansia movement is the most popular movement in the northern part of Nigeria, and it is the only movement that is very, very massive in terms of presence, in terms of numbers, in terms of energy and vibe. You cannot rig the election with Kwakwansia movement wherever they are. And he had the highest vote that any candidate in the history of Nigeria could get in the state. Kwankwaso had almost 1 million votes from the last presidential election that was conducted, where he got all the majority vote from Kano State. And in terms of politics and political vote, Kano State have a high citizen turnout, voters turnout, and that is the only state in the history of Nigeria that can pull the vote of 5 states combined together, either in the south-south or in the southeast. Kano State alone can deliver all of those votes. And any presidential candidate who will lose Kano and Kaduna, it will be tough for such a person to be declared president. So we are marching there by special grace of God in 2027. So let's continue to read more about some of the good things he has done. Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso built a lot of roads, hospitals, schools, and he was sending residents to study in abroad. In August 2013, he was among the 7 serving governors who formed the G7 faction within the People's Democratic Party. In November 2013, Kwankwaso, alongside 5 members of the G7, defected to the opposition party, APC. In June 2014, Kwankwaso was at loggerheads with the longtime Emir of Kano, Adobayero, over his appointment of Waziri of the Kano Emirate Council. On 6 June 2014, Adobayero died and a succession crisis loomed among the royals. On 8th of June 2014, Kwankwaso appointed Alhaji Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, who served as the central bank governor, and the Dan Majane Kano, that's son of an emir. He emerged as the new emir of Kano. His accession led to the widespread protests from supporters of Sanusi Adobayero, son of the late emir, and Shiroma Kano. And he has done a lot of things in Kano. If you go, his mark is everly present in Kano State in terms of road construction, bridges that have been constructed, and a lot of infrastructural development. We are going to get more of those work he has done. We will bring it out in terms of numbers, in terms of local government areas, everywhere the project he has done in Kano. We will go bring it out. We will mention it, we will name it, and then we will also get more research so that Nigerians can get to know more about one of the most vibrant vice presidential candidates to be on the ballot by 2027. In October 2014, Kwankwaso used his large political large politics and gathering following Kano to contest APC presidential primaries. The presidential primary result was held in Lagos, where Alhaji Muhammadu Buhari had a vote of 3,420. Kwankwaso was the second in the Lagos result. Atiku came third in that Lagos result. Then Rocha Sokorocha with 400 votes, and Sam. Those are the people he contested. He has actually been contesting for president for a long time before Alhaji Muhammadu Buhari won that 2014 nomination, and Kwankwaso endorsed him. So he has been a very strong party man, a loyal man who has been paying his price in terms of politics, and he has actually worked and served the public in Kano State. He has revitalized a lot of industry. He's done a lot of work that people can testify to. He has helped to improve access to healthcare services for people in Kano State. He's built a lot of schools that people in Kano can testify, and actually worked to discourage the street begging. He made a lot of policies to ensure that children they have access to go back to school, and they are able to bridge the gap of the school dropouts in Kano State. So there are many things that he has done in Kano that we need to also get more and come back and speak comprehensively around his achievement so that people can get to know more. It's as a result of the things he's done in Kano that is making the Kwankwaso movement to be very stronger and became the most formidable force in the history of northern politics as at today. So this is the man who contested the last election, and because of the love he had for Peter Obi and the strong evidence he has seen, he has actually researched about Peter Obi, and he has seen that Peter Obi is the most credible candidate that can contest for the office of the president in Nigeria. As a result, he was given a lot of promises by APC. Bola Ahmed Tinubu have had a series of meetings. Everybody in APC have begged him. They wanted him to come and work for them, and he said no, he's not going to work for a corrupt politics. He's not going to work for a party that is deceiving Nigeria, that is manipulating Nigerians. He's not going to work for a party that is not saying the truth, but that is full of corruption. As a result, Oja Nwasikonga, he left them and dropped them by the well. So we are going to cover them on the well by 2027 election. So he has chosen the truth, he has chosen integrity, he has chosen competency, he has chosen accountability, he chooses transparency, he chooses a trustworthy leader with a global recognition. That's why I decided to work with His Excellency Peter Obi.
There will be no Abiola situation loading. Madam, rest that thought, please. Don't even conceive that thought in your subconscious. Okay? Nothing like that is happening. Please. Don't infuse your fear. I beg. You gotta speak tough and do it right now. And back him up however way you can, please. All right, let's move forward. We have not come this far to just when people thought it was not ever going to happen. Everybody was shouting, oh, he's not going to make it to the ballot. Oh, the party is not going to let him have a party to run. Oh, he's not going to do. We stood our ground. We said, lie. You see this Nigeria, not only they get her. Peter Obi must be on the ballot. That was our mission. Everybody was saying, no, you people should allow him just VP to Atiku. Atiku is the only ticket. We dey here now, so I beg. I beg, Madam Luke, please. Remove that thought from your mind, because there will be no Abiola situation. Peter Obi is not Abiola. I beg. You don't understand what Peter Obi represents for a lot of Nigerians right now. I beg, Biko. Mona go wash una subconscious, so Mona they think better, bold and courageous thoughts towards this man, please. The good will win. The good will win. Now, let me read this tweet for you guys from Harmless. Following Cardinal Onayeko's position on the state against the hunger and hardship in the land, APC stakeholders have never rested since weekend. In various propaganda groups, a lot of propaganda has been up to attack Cardinal Onayeko's personality, but none of those propagandas carried any. The last option on the table now is to pull the tribalism card, but unfortunately, John Cardinal Olorunfemi Onayeko is also a Yoruba man. He's not Igbo and he's not Fulani. This was not enough for APC stakeholders. They searched deeper to find out the ethnicity of Cardinal Onayeko's mother, and they discovered that the mom was Yoruba and even the father. They are currently searching the roots of his fifth ancestors because the first, second, third, and fourth were all Yoruba. We are still waiting for the final result of the intensive search. This is how sick APC supporters are. All right, let's listen to the chief loaner of the world.
Out of this country, Bola Loan Nigeria Limited, President Tinubu Loan Nigeria Limited, Loan Master, Loan Analyst, Leo, Leonardo Tinubu, Leonardo Ahmed, Oluwa Loan Tinubu, Loan Caution, Loan Corruption, Loan Construction, Loan Coastal Road,
Loan Bandit,
Loan Solar, Loan Subsidy, Loaning, Oloni of Uniland, Loan Nigeria Limited, Chief of Loan Staff, they loan. You have loaned this generation, you have loaned the second generation, you have loaned the third generation, you have loaned the fourth generation. Before we can be free from your debt, is the sixth generation. When I'm no more. What are you using the money you are loaning? What are you using it for? The money you are borrowing, Babai. What are you using it for? President Bola Ahmed loan. What are you loaning?
Loanatus.
Felony. Loan academy. Loan infrastructure. Loan insecurity. Loan electricity. Loaner. Loe. Loan.com. Loan.ng. Loan@gmail.com. Loaner list. Ololo. Loan refinery. Loan terrorists. Loan everything. They loan up and down.
All right, well, let's move on. I have a couple more videos and then we'll call it a day. All right, I'm gonna listen to what do you mean this? Okay.
Now what for this world? Now, Nigeria be like say na Nollywood movie with the wash. A whole presidential candidate, a whole presidential candidate. He go get this kind result when he dey here, this kind certificate when he dey here. High team move go get the BSc. We don't know the history of him. Yet INEC no fit disqualify him. We no get primary school history. We no get secondary school history. Nobody to come say, na him wait and finish primary school, just as all of us, we get primary school mate. I know, I see they get in contact with over 40, 60 of my primary school mates. I see they get close in contact to over 100 of my secondary school mates. But this Baba, now, ain't just post BSc, primary school dash, secondary school dash, but yet they not fit disqualify this candidate. This will not be scam. This will not be scam. I next year myself now even APC now in there, and this one a person when he be say professors, masters holder, PhD holders that they double for the stand for a mandate, and this person when they stand for a mandate. he no go boy, and he no go. But so shameful, but especially for my local government self, and the thing they would bother me. Say highly educated guys when they would respect where they say on your mandate we stand. Hey, now wow, how academicians go they stand on a Olodo mandate. Hey, God I beg you. Hey, this thing easy. I beg. Get your PVC ready. See your big qualification. See the way he line. See the way the thing align from primary school, secondary. Ah, my God, if person they see the big qualification to vote for them, go they hungry. You I beg, get your PVC ready. This does mean them make we carry them come up for power. I beg. We need your PVC. Get ready, vote and defend your vote. Obi all the way, NDC from presidential to local government chairman. Make we cast all of them out. This APC ruling party, they not send us at all. They not send us. They not send Nigerians. They not send the future. They are on to grab. These are the first tenor. The second tenor, if they mistakenly enter, Nigeria go here win. Nigeria go here Oba. That time. Now Borokbu, now they go be na so they call them Okbokbu. Now they go be Gelekbu, now they go be that time. Mokuna they watch now, unless we vote them out of power. Cooperatively, we go send them out of government as out of Aso Rock. They make better people when they enter, the intelligent people when they go industrialize our country, industrialize our state, industrialize our local government. Make everybody they get work, they do, they get your own bar for pocket. Now that one we want, that the Nigeria we they pray for. And by the grace of God, we go get them. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Cheers. Data, you have used your MTN this week. More than not try that nonsense. What they do every day 11 times. Oh, good, they queue now. Why would my data bundle be exhausted? I just bought data which day? How can I be buying data every 2 market days? Are you people sick or something? And then Airtel, the most useless. You buy data, it will not function at all. The last 5K I put, I not use on one day. Person you put data, you're the deputy 6 naira for text message. You know that the country is useless and there's almost nobody to complain to. These mofos, they should be existing by now. And Glow will be our own, assuming they get sense, they know their self. Perfect replacement. We will show these 2 idiots come out. Trying the data bundle has been exhausted. I don't see food chop or the bad data like decrease. Good morning, trenches. All the happiness why I carry come online now. Come on, Unati. Tinubu get certificate I will not get. You know, we are still talking about the cardinal issue. And they say that they send out their people. They don't use fight. Come, send Boala, send up by Ananuga. Yeah. The candidate, they don't say no work. They don't say no work. Nigerians, they don't say fall back. On Icon is not the man to talk to like that. They don't push them, send them back to their maker Tinubu. They don't say that one no work. They are now sending father figures. They are now sending these ones to come and stand. That tip where the new catch. Come explain to us how what the cardinal said is true, but it's not Tinubu's fault. Whose fault is it? Is it my fault? Who is the president? When did the thief mandate? When not say not for use one and not tell her. In fact, if I say don't tip and finish now, I can't say enough for use them. When I not tell her, say return and give the man. Return and give the man. We get mandates. They're coming to come and explain to us. It's not Tinubu. Whose fault is that? It's Obi fault. Whose fault it is? Abi. This month I don't want to post it in so. They are sending you now to come and do damage control. And Bishop Sasa and so is not the head of it. We don't care. We do not care. They carried the entire meeting and they not carry the entire meeting. What happened inside the meeting? They tell him the country is bleeding or not? Did they tell him we are hungry or not? When they told him, what did he say? Is he acting like somebody that or not? Only when I get problem, go front, go back. Back to the next one now. Because after we finish carding, I will call it a certificate. When I say the man not get certificate, when I say the man gets. Please, I want to beg the media team. You know, you all, the moment you receive videos this week, just the reposts. They share, they repost like what they Chris. Because that's all you need to do. Because you see this APC, now together, we'll show the come for this country. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye and God bless. Somebody say next.
The advice is just for any sitting president, any sitting leader to see things the way it should be. There's difficulty in Nigeria, there's no doubt, and it's not the fault of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have been able to capture the microeconomy.
Whose fault, Oga? Whose fault? At least you fear not let you talk against the cardinal. They're not born you when nah. See the girl papa went buy for Umahi house. The man say Umahi they threaten her. Eh? Oh, Coco. Mona, listen.
We spoke over the phone as follows. David, are you Samuel Tabara? Me, yes, I am. David, I am David Umahi, the Honorable Minister of Works. I saw you
have been speaking of that
suit against me.
About that. Now,
you need money, right?
For Nigeria.
I will teach you a lesson of your life,
and they are kidnapping
such that
but
you will learn never to mess with a person like me.
No, forget.
I will give you 10 lawsuits.
Catholic now.
People are mourning, and there you are, taking me to court. I will deal with you. He concluded and hung up. No intimidation will work in this matter. Threats, abuse of power, or aggressive language from public office holders will not stop us from demanding accountability and justice for Mary Habila. The call for justice remains. We reiterate our demand for a proper independent autopsy to clear all doubts surrounding the circumstances of her death, rather than a horrid burial without proper medical answers.
Okay, see, they call so this guy, his name is he said, I met Father James. He says, I met Faith Chat Platform. That's his Twitter handle. He says, I met Cardinal John Nayeko, a joyous fellow, and thanked him for the boldness of his faith, speaking out for the poor and oppressed. Mona, listen to what Cardinal talk. Mona, listen.
We have to open this. We can't continue and lie down like slaves. No.
We have to open this mouth. We cannot lie down and be acting like slaves. That's what he said in this 5-second clip. This government, Sheyi Makinde says this government is pushing security responsibilities to the states without giving them the authority to deal with it. Can you imagine?
Unbelievable. When Chibok happened, it was the fault of President Jonathan. They went all over the world, asked Jonathan to bring back the children. But this happened. No. It is the irresponsibility of the state governor and the state government. So we need to look at our architecture and be sure that where you give responsibility, you also give authority to deal with those responsibilities. And that is exactly what we will do if the people of Nigeria will trust. Unbelievable. When Chibok happened.
All right. So this one guy speaking Hausa, summary of it. This is from Arewa handle, Arewa source, I think. Yeah, Arewa source. Any northerner supporting Tinubu's administration has no difference with an animal. Look at how Southerners went to the president, looked him in the eye, and told him that we are not happy. Imagine how many unalivings have taken place in the north. I'm paraphrasing. But northern leaders are nowhere to be found. Moving along really quickly. All right. I think we've taken this already. I played it earlier. This was, I think, anyway, let's listen.
Speaking on behalf of the president. First of all is that when the Catholic bishops, some of the representatives had gone to meet with the president, they had said categorically that this statement representing was not from them, that they were representing after deliberations, rigorous deliberations from the Catholic Bishops' Conference. They were just acting as spokespersons. The second thing is that when you look at bona fide, who are they? Why would they have the opportunity or the rights to tell the president what is happening? Because a huge chunk of Mr. Temitope Ajayi's statement was around the fact that, they were not really representing the views of many Nigerians and that facts that they had could counter their assertions around the state of the nation, economically, security-wise, and in other areas. Number two, the fact is that the Catholic Church has about approximately 35 million followers in Nigeria, one of the largest in the world. Number two is that we understand the Nigerian climate. Religious leaders, whether of the Catholic faith, of the Christian faith, or the Muslim faith, and every other on other faiths, act as almost micro-local governments to the people. In fact, it's been said that they often understand because of the influence that they wield. So we know that these are people who are not just coming out to speak. There's a backing of the legitimacy that has been given to them by the people that they lead. And when I talk about even micro-local government areas, remember that many of them, even because of the tenets of their faith, respond to poverty cries by their congregation, whether, again, Islamic faith or Christian faith. We see a lot of them do charitable activities. I know the can make a difference. I know so many that go out on a daily basis to meet the needs of Nigerians, whether through feeding, whether through welfare support. There's almost no religious organization that does not have a welfare department. So they would understand if the demands on their welfare posts has increased in the last years, if they have seen more complaints or more incidents of poverty-related issues come to them by virtue of their positions. They understand, they meet the people. So we cannot neglect the role that they play. Even if, and I do agree that they are meant to be non-partisan, but they also, by the nature of Nigeria that we have, play a huge role. So what did they say? They said that, first of all, what was challenged was that this was a closed-door interview, so it shouldn't have come out. I mean, to be quite fair, we don't have the records, whether or not it was said to be off record, and there was an agreement or an oath that was taken that whatever was discussed in this meeting would not be put out. Even before Cardinal John Omoye gave that interview to Arise News, there were already videos that came out of that meeting. There were already press releases. Perhaps what was offensive to the presidency was that it was not a narrative that was controlled by them in the area of a press release. And so when he came out to give his own, his account of the event of what happened, it then became a huge problem. I wish I had a bit more time to talk about this, but I'm sure in the course of today's show.
Okay, let's move on. Sorry, guys, I spoke over that video. I'm sure some of you are annoyed, but I'm sorry. I apologize.
Seek for, a constitutional review that will allow Nigerians to align with the current realities that, look, if you want to get a job in a private company right now, even in government agencies, the basics that they'll be asking for you, it's not primary or secondary school, is for you to eventually have, a university degree. So I had thought that our federal lawmakers, considering the controversy that happened in 2015, 2019 again with the Buhari school certificate, whether first school living certificate or so, they should have adjusted the constitution to accommodate that, but they didn't. In 2023, we had the same thing. Between 2023 and now, is sufficient time enough for us to have done that constitutional amendment. So as it stands right now, President Tinubu has just played on the system because there's no requirement. If you submit your PhD degree, there's no reason why INEC should say that because you submitted that PhD degree, that you've done something in the wrong or so. And if you you can submit a trade certificate or a testimonial or even a handwritten letter from your traditional ruler vouching for you and saying that in the past you've done this or that. And that will sufficiently qualify you based on what the law says to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this is what we have been saying. If you're looking for jobs here and there, the requirement will be high. But if you're looking for the number one job in Nigeria, the requirement constitutionally is not so high. So what are the senators and House of Representative members doing? Because I can tell you that in 2031, we're still going to face this problem again. So Nigerians should not totally be distracted from what's happening. Yes, I know that a lot of us are bitter because the basic requirement for being a president in contemporary Nigeria should even be a master's degree.
Yep.
But even if you do that, there's the other side that has to do with human rights. Look at the foundation behind the thinking of the forefathers of the country for allowing this provision to be in the constitution. It is for the ordinary Nigerian to be able to contest so that nobody will be pushed aside, so that it will go around to everybody. But that thinking, is this still realistic at the moment? No. That everybody has equal rights, that you should not push aside a farmer from becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria just because he did not go to school. Now, if we need a president that can run the sort of modern society that Nigeria has become, we need someone who is sufficiently educated for the times that we are in. And that's why you see people are angry and say that President Tinubu should have provided all of those. But there's nowhere legally that says that he must actually do that. And this has been tested in the courts. So It's a huge challenge for us, but I think Nigerians should hold our federal lawmakers responsible for refusing to do this, because the APC and its president that they provided have been problematic in this area. And if we allow Buhari's issue to distract us and Tinubu again, we may lose the major focus, which is what is the state of the economy right now? Can this government be re-elected on the strength of its achievements in the economy, in terms of governance, in terms of sports, in terms of other things? Those are the critical issues that we should be looking at. Rating the executive based on the deliverables that have been achieved in the past 3 years. Is your power better than it was? Do you have enough food? What's the inflation rate in the society? In terms of job creation, we have a huge quantum of youth who are unemployed. What has this government done in terms of job creation? Let's not lose the debate, because we've been here before, and I can tell you the cuts will not help. So let's focus on that. As for the issue of Obasanjo and Atiku that you talked about, you see, Obasanjo should not continue to pass the buck to anyone, because
yes, I played that video earlier, by the way, so I just wanted to play that snippet for some of us that were not here. Okay, Tinubu exposed. Tinubu finished Lagos. Sanwo-Olu remits 2.5 billion monthly to Alpha Beta. Mona, listen.
For 800 million every month. Now put 800 million every month times 12. Do you know how much is that? Now, Sanwo-Olu just paid 2.5 billion every month for 7 years plus now. Calculate time. He never fought for that same 10% when we dey drag for years since. That's why sometimes, to talk for Peter Obi, I don't know, you are gathering yourself with content creators. You cannot gather yourself with people that can speak and defend you and put something out there. Now, we want to defend you up and down. You are like, Nigeria is a country where we will not get work. But they tell you, say your work not good. This is just a typical example.
Please. You spoke for quite a long time. No point at there, please. Let it finish.
My brother, this is just a typical example. I read the form that INEC published this morning. Tinubu didn't put, I think, no primary school, no secondary school, and straight to university. Now, somebody brought out his own result. You say now, you get pass, I take get admission. So we even see somebody results.
Not tap on your screen. Everybody say writing comment tap.
My brother,
continue, my brother.
We even see somebody result at all. Then not the debate and say he not get credit now pass he gets. How he take get pass? I take enter that university. When they find the information from the university, look at it out here. This is a 1,093 pages. Then you go to page 105. This is 104, page 105. Read the first place there. You will see how to get admission into that department. I believe we can focus on how to debate on how to get a better person. Nobody will not get result. When they ask who get result, say you're not supposed to enter school. I rest my case, my brother. I greet you.
So, two. All right.
You get a message waiting for what this man said. Most of you did not watch the video I sent yesterday. This man said a lot of things about the state of our judiciary in this country. Take out your eyes of comprehension to listen to what this former Secretary General of the Federation said. No matter, forget the fact that he looks like he's unserious. You know, of course, you know that has always been his character. But listen to what he said. He gets some words where he draw. Watch the video.
I want you to speak on the state of our judiciary, especially that it has been alleged that the ruling party, again, the president and his people are weaponizing judiciary against political parties, opposition, Shewore, Malam Nasir El-Rufai. All the parties have one case or the other in court. Can you speak on this?
Of course, no. I was at the heart of, I was in ADC until recently, and we were victims for that type of thing. So it's alleged, well, people want to say it's allegation, but what we see is not what we expect of our judiciary. The judgments that come out, there's no way an ordinary Nigerian will not think that the judgments are driven by motives other than politics. And I think the judiciary has allowed itself to be surrendered to government. It might not have started here. It might have started long ago. The government always has interest in some cases, naturally, isn't it? As a government, there are times you want to express to the judiciary what would have been your preferred position. But it's up to them to decide. As SGF, I used to do it now. I used to say, the government has interest in this case. So just which is their side? I said, this is our side. Sometimes they do what we want, sometimes they don't do, depending on whether it's just accidental. Exactly. So as soon as okay, he didn't help us, and I said, now law will they do, not be politics. But now I don't think the people have that type of thing. We are Nigerians. The judges are from us. The judges are our relations, our children. If you want to become a magistrate and you come to me and you say, sir, they are recruiting magistrates, so I want you to talk to somebody for me. And you talk and she becomes a magistrate. Now, ab initio, that person can be compromised.
Exactly.
So the judiciary, if I want to put it in one single sentence, it's now the major problem of the country. Yeah. It's the checks and balances they are supposed to bring to bear, they don't. So when the judiciary fails, where do you go?
What is responsible for the decline of the judiciary? What?
It's the Nigerian decline, greed. Greed, and we have all lost our sense of dignity. We are now pursuing money. It's now pursuit of money is our number one goal, and in pursuing money, we've lost our dignity at every level.
So the general erosion of values in the society has affected the judiciary.
Oh yes, now they're in the society now. In the society, when you are struggling to make ends meet, and this man is just have excesses.
Because of time, I will leave that matter. I won't forget.
Kai. Anyway, we shared that video, the long one, before, so we'll listen to this.
His Christian. Happy Sunday, beloved brothers and sisters of mine. How are you today? I hope you guys are doing well. I carry Tori come. I carry gist come. I got you all covered, my brothers and my sisters. When I know waiting this up, when I know waiting they happen, I am still on Catholic bishops, and how they speak truth to power. Now listen, my brothers and sisters. Tinubu, the pandemic is not happy with Anglican, Catholic bishops and priests. For more than 48 hours now, we don't report about the bishop will go visit Tinubu for Asurok. We go see Tinubu for Asurok. Now, Tinubu is not happy that Catholic bishops and cardinals are not licking his ass, are not sycophants, the way Pastor Adeboye of Redeemed Christian Church of God, the way Bishop Koga, the way Ejike Mbaka, and which other one? All those other pastors, the Reverend Fathers, where they lick Tinubu ass. Tinubu is not happy that Roman Catholic bishop will come visit him. No great praise him. They did not sing his praises. And this is why they are currently dragging one of the bishops, he's not a bishop, a cardinal, that went to Arise TV to grant interview. And now that one I played for yesterday. Let me now break it down for you people. Tinubu is not happy that Roman Catholic bishops and priests are not licking his black drug baron Nash, his drug baron acts, the way Bishop Koka, Pastor Adeboye of Redeemed Christian Church of God, and Ejike Mbaka, Father Ejike Mbaka, the way when they licking ass, the way when they be sycophants, because Ejike Mbaka is a sycophant. Pastor Adeboye is licking Tinubu ass. The same thing with Bishop Koka. Bishop Koka, where we've been the respect. Bishop Koka, where we been the speak through to see Tinubu. See Tinubu, he began to the walk, speak for a drug lord. God, I never believe that guy is a bishop. Bishop Koka. It's well. Let us go. Let us proceed, I beg. I don't come here to come just about those ones. Now, my brothers and sisters, currently Nigeria has 4 cardinals, and cardinals are potential pope. Do you understand? And these 4 cardinals, one is Cardinal Francis Arinze, Cardinal Anthony Olubumi Okoji, Cardinal John Olufemi Onayinka, and Cardinal Peter Ebere Opaleke. Inside these 4, one of the cardinals was among the people that went to see Tinubu in Asurok. The other ones, I think, they are bishops and probably priests. Tinubu is not happy that the bishops and this cardinal did not say what he wants to hear. They did not lick his axe the way Bishop Koka, they lick his ass. They did not act like sycophants, the way Ejike Mbaka be sycophants to Tinubu now. That is why they are dragging Cardinal Onanyinka as I speak. They are dragging him. Now, bishops, Roman Catholic bishops went to Tinubu with hard questions, tough questions, and Tinubu was hoping for a soft landing. He wanted them to be very soft with him, sing his praises, say all his policies are working, everything is going well. Oh, he has made Nigeria to look like Dubai. Nigeria is now America. Nigeria is now beautiful. This was what Tinubu was expecting from the Catholic bishops and cardinals, including priests. But the reverse was the case. These people they were very hard on him. Number one is that they asked him about how he intends to ensure there is free and fair election. Tinubu now said that he is not the one. What did he say? That INEC is neutral. That is to say he's defending INEC. And it was very clear to the bishops that Tinubu was openly supporting INEC and he's in charge of INEC. These bishops will not be picking now. My brothers and sisters will not be children. When you see that somebody is not doing his duty, do you come or go to leave the person acts? The last time I checked, Roman Catholic bishops and priests have always been speaking truth. They never shy away from their responsibility because it is within their right or jurisdiction to ensure that the government of the day provide basic amenities for the people of Nigeria. 1, electricity, which is power. 2, health. 3, to ensure that there is pipe water and there are good roads. There are so many things lacking in Nigeria, and these bishops are worried. How can you be a president of Nigeria and the people have been thrown into multidimensional poverty and you expect them to go to Aso Rock and be singing your praises? No. Roman Catholic bishops are not Bishop Coker. They are not Pastor Adeboye. We are not talking about Redeemed Christian Church of God. We are talking about Almighty Roman Catholic Church. And you don't expect a cardinal that is next to a pope to come out and be talking, singing the praises of a dirty drug baron like Tinubu. So that is what Tinubu was expecting. Axe licking work. But the cardinal said no. He went to Arise News to further tell Nigerians that we went to see this man that called himself president, and saying that we are disappointed should be an understatement. Let me give you a brief summary of what transpired or what went wrong there. Like I said, we have 4 cardinals, and one of them went to visit Tinubu in Aso Rock, and Tinubu was expecting them to be very, very subtle. He was expecting them to love him and say, "Oh, Tinubu is doing well. Tinubu is doing fantastically well."
Your mandate,
he never went his way. Now, the cardinal now went to Arise News to grant interview with Charles Aniagolo, and now waiting make APC criminals. Now waiting make these criminals the dragger for Twitter. This is the summary of what Cardinal Onayinka said. Archbishop John Onayinka. I was not surprised the president wasn't looking very happy. He said the president wasn't looking happy. Even his colleagues present, there are so many people around him giving him a rosy picture of what the country is, which is not. He said that the president is not even aware of what is going on in Nigeria. This man not just know anything. Tinubu is a donkey, an odomu. Now, Tinubu used fake bishop when he was doing Muslim ticket. For in mind, let him now bring these real bishops so that he will know whether they will just be hitting drum of victory for him. But it's not possible. It did not happen. And that is why they are angry. And they have written a rebuttal to what the cardinal said on Arise News. He went further to say that Mr. President came very clearly in that statement that he made. In politics, all is fair. Is that true? How can a president say that in politics all is true? Does it mean that snatch it, grab it, and run with it is also true? That the president does not look like somebody that wants to ensure free and fair election. Now waiting, Cardinal Onayinka tell Tinubu, and now waiting in back for Arise News. He went further to say that they told the president, let me quote him, we told him the nation is bleeding. He said the nation is not bleeding. We told him the economy is not helping the poor. He said economy is fine. That they told Tinubu that the nation is bleeding. Tinubu said a lie. He said the nation not bleed. They went further to tell Tinubu that the economy is not doing well. It's not helping the poor. That more people are in poverty. Tinubu said it's lie. That the economy is doing very, very okay. So that they realize that they went to Aso Rock. They go Aso Rock. Do you know that Bishop Coker don't follow them go Aso Rock? Because the bishops will go Aso Rock. Now the ones where they speak truth. The fake bishop where Tinubu use deceive people, where they deceive. That these are the bishops. He went to pick hoodlums on the road, vagabonds, homeless men, people. Some psychiatric patients, he picked them. And this is what Tinubu did to Roman Catholic Church, that these bishops endorsed him. He can't do it with Muslim. He cannot go to pick fake imams and say that they endorse his Christian ticket. But he did it in the Christian community, and somehow all is well. He picked fake bishops, hoodlums on the road, wore them cassock, and said that these are Roman Catholic and Anglican bishops. And to them, that one is normal, it's proper. But he cannot do it in the Muslim settings. Do you get? A Christian president and a Christian vice president cannot move on the road and pick hoodlums and say that these are imams. And these imams have endorsed Christian tickets. Christians, they see shege for Nigeria, I'm telling you. Now, let me go further. The cardinal now said that Tinubu is acting like somebody that is not in touch with the people. He's not in touch with reality. That the people who surround him, they be pure psychophants. They give him a rosy picture that Nigeria is doing well. Nigeria is okay. There are no poor people. And the president idiot, because Tinubu does not qualify to be a president of any country. The useless president idiot of Nigeria, he was like, no, what are you saying? That the country is doing well. That he has tried. That he has done his best. That there are no poor people. He said that one shocked them. That this guy was looking at them in the faces. And you people had him say that the poor people, poverty has been there. Hunger has been there even before he was born. The man was so nonchalant. The man was like kind of laissez-faire attitude. Somebody that has lost touch with reality. The pace of the people, the pulse of the people, they feel that anything they talk, Tinubu will counter it. Tinubu has an opposite thing to say. They will tell him that the people are hungry. A real president will say, I understand the pain of the people, but this pain will go. This is what we are putting in place. But Tinubu look at them in their faces and tell them rather, that the country is doing fine. And when they asked him about free and fair election, he said that all is fair in politics. Even though they are snatching and grabbing it and buying people, all is fair in politics. And the INEC is not independent. INEC is in the pocket of Tinubu. This cardinal said that they realized all these things when they went to Aso Rock. That Tinubu was not happy when they were there. Because he was not expecting them. He was expecting them to act like Bishop Coker and Pastor Adeboye, where they always praise him. But they never did that. Yeah. They were very tough and they came with tough questions. And Tinubu could not answer. Instead, he was acting like the dictator he is. How can you say Nigeria is practicing democracy? But in real sense, this is dictatorship. Now, my brothers and sisters, this is what Cardinal Onayinka told Charles and Yagulu for Arise TV. Naim, APC, urchins, criminals. By Onanoga. All of them, they released their attack dogs on a whole cardinal of Roman Catholic Church. And don't forget, this cardinal is a Yoruba man. Imagine saying a Igbo man come the drug. That's clueless, incompetent, senile, drug baron, dirty man. Imagine that is an Igbo man dragging him on a rise. Imagine how they could have just changed the whole thing. Okay, so my brothers, after this interview, after they started circulating the interview, in fact, the thing did not sit well with the so-called presidency, and they now release their own reporter. According to Bayo Onanoga, Cardinal Onayinka's abuse of clerical privilege. He said there is something fundamentally inappropriate about Cardinal John Onayinka granting a television interview. I'm not going to read it all. I'm going to take 1 or 2 paragraphs, then I'll summarize. Granting a television interview to offer his own account and interpretation of what transpired during the private meeting between Catholic Bishops Conference of Nigeria and President Tinubu, President Tinubu. Now, this is by Onanoga, probably, or your presidency. Tinubu got angry that after the finished meeting, Cardinal now went to Arise TV to say what happened for that meeting. And they call it a private meeting. But there is nothing private about the meeting because the whole thing was televised. We had it. We saw it with our 2 eyes. And that is where we started asking, how can Tinubu be the president of Nigeria and say that there has been hunger in Nigeria even before he was born? Is that not where we started getting some short clips of what went wrong in that their so-called meeting in Aso Rock? So how is it a private meeting? How is it possible that bishops will visit Tinubu and at the end of the day, they will tag it as a private meeting? More like a confidential something where they discuss. Tinubu is not supposed to, the cardinal is not supposed to bring out what they discuss in confidence. What they discuss in secrets, what is confidential, they are not supposed to bring it in public. That is what they are saying. That the cardinal should not have granted interview, saying Tinubu policies is not working. But if the cardinal had gone to praise Tinubu, all of them would have been fine with it. If the cardinal had gone to lie that all is well in Nigeria, when all is not well, they expect him to lie like Bishop Koka, Pastor Adeboye, Reverend Ejike, and a host of other pastors, lying machines that know that Nigeria is going down the abyss, but somehow they want to paint it as everything is fine to please the drug lord where they fast through. Now, the so-called presidency went further to say that okay, let me just take it because there is no let me take it from here. There is something fundamentally inappropriate about Cardinal John Onayinka granting a television interview to offer his own account and interpretation of what transpired during the private meeting between the Catholic Bishops Conference of Nigeria and President Tinubu. It is, in my view, an abuse of clerical privilege. The bishops requested an audience with the president. He granted the audience graciously. They presented, as was their right, a catalog of the country's economic, social, and security challenges as they saw them, except for their grudging acknowledgement of the benefits of Nelfon. They were dismissive of the other great things done by the administration. The bishops were notably academic in their submission, but the president listened to them patiently and responded. That should ordinarily have been where the matter rested. None of the issues raised by the bishops is beyond scrutiny or rebuttal. Their assessment is neither scripture nor an article of faith. It is a perspective and perspectives that can be challenged with fact and evidence. The whole thing went by Onanoga live for Twitter. They're very long, but to cut the long story short, my people, the presidency is not happy that Roman Catholic bishops and cardinal Wego Asurok did not sing Tinubu praises and they are dragging the cardinal. Some of these criminals are threatening the cardinal. That they are going to do this to him. They are going to call DSS. That he's not supposed to be partisan. That the cardinal, the bishops they were partisan. That they are supporting opposition. Because these bishops no go. They look Tinubu, tell and say, oh, there are no poor people in Nigeria. There is no insecurity in Nigeria. Everything is going well. There is 247 electricity. The roads are very, very good. In fact, Nigeria is better than America. This is what Tinubu is expecting to hear. And he did not hear it. These are true men of God. The true representative of Christ on earth. They speak truth irrespective of whose us is God's. Now, remember that this is a temporal word. The reason why I see or understand that these bishops, we are not ready to dance to the tone of Tinubu is because they understand that the word is temporal. Yep. Unlike Bishop Koka, Pastor Adeboye, that know that at the end of the day, everyone is going to give up material with their life. They will give account of their soul. This same word where you go build a very big mansion, at the end of the day, you will box yourself in one particular room. Now, one room you go sleep. Even if you build a very big mansion, 30 rooms, at the end, you are going to sleep inside one room for one bed. Now, the same word where you expect Roman Catholic bishops not to speak the truth. Sometimes I ask people like Bishop Koka, what do they stand to gain at the end of the day? All of us are going to live someday. We are not going to stay. We are not stone. We are not rod. At the end, all of us are going to depart. We are going to leave this world because it is temporal. And I keep asking, why is it that the only opportunity you have to speak the truth, you will decide to take bribe from the government in power? The same money where you go take, where at the end, you will not go with all of them. You are not going with any of them, let alone all of them. Even if Tinubu give you a car, you are not going to go with that car. If Tinubu give you mansions, that mansions will stay. If Tinubu give you millions of dollars, that same money is going to be kept in the bank. You will not go with anything. You are going, as you enter the world naked, and so you go naked. It is just now saying that they wear paper clothes. Why will the likes of Adeboye see truth and decide to shy away from it? Why will people like a pastor, Adeboye, Bishop Coker, and AGK Mbaka, why would they be single Tinubu praises? They know the way Tinubu enter power. They know that Tinubu rigged the election. And these same bishops will be preaching righteousness, holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. These same people know that Tinubu is a drug baron. These same bishops and Reverend Father, they know that, and this pastor, they know that Tinubu is a dirty politician. The same Bishop Coker, where they stand for what is right, see Tinubu, see drug baron, he begin to lie. Bishop Coker go see black, he say go see white, he say na black. He see black, he say na white. He see yellow, he say na green. Pastor Adeboye go see say Tinubu they fail. Pastor Adeboye will continue giving hope when there is no hope. Renewed hope, renewed hopelessness. This is what is going on. AGK Mbaka. A Reverend Father will gather people and be telling them that, oh, Tinubu is doing well. The same Tinubu will believe in aboroism. The same man that will not mind to buy everybody just because they want to gain power. The man that believes in snatch it, grab it, and run away with it. This is what these people, this group of men, where some people been the respect. AGK Mbaka now one Reverend Father where people they respect before. Bishop Coker, you can't talk about bishops in Nigeria without calling Bishop Coker as somebody that will even go to heaven. Before people they respect Pastor Adeboye until Tinubu happened and everything went south. And this is what Tinubu is expecting to be replicated by every Roman Catholic bishop, including cardinals and priests, including pastors. So that is why Tinubu is angry. And now why did they drag Cardinal Onayinka? That he is supposed to follow the path, the psychophantic, the psycho-axe-licking side part of Bishop Coker and Pastor Adeboye, AGK Mbaka. That's why the bishops no act like Pastor Adeboye. That is why they're angry. And that's why they're dragging him. Calling DSS, insulting a whole cardinal. So a whole Roman Catholic church now waiting Tinubu one pocket. You will not believe it. Tinubu wants a whole Roman Catholic, a Roman Catholic church that has been in existence even before his great-great-great-great-grandfather came in existence. Now waiting Tinubu, a drug baron, the third most corrupt president or man in the whole world. He wants to pocket Roman Catholic. Just the same way when he pockets Redeemed Christian Church of God. No, Catholic Church is not Redeemed Church. Roman Catholic Church, Anglican Church, Methodist, Presbyterian, they are not Pentecostal Church. Oh, they want place with Orthodox. Now Orthodox Church, they want joke with. They want them to forget AGK Mbaka. It's only him that knows the water he drank. Forget Bishop Coker, and only him know what's in him chop. A real bishop, a real cardinal of Roman Catholic, they're not there for speaking truth. Stand for what is right. Because at the end of the day, a night shall come where no man shall walk. At the end of the day, you leave everything for sand and dust. Why should I not speak the truth? Because of temporal possession, because of car and house. Go and check prominent men, richer men, where get money, assets. Where the money day today? Where are the assets? The children go inherit the one where they go inherit, and at the end of the day, the other ones will be kept. The man who suffer for the thing will not be alive to enjoy it. So tell me why these people are not speaking the truth. May God bless every bishop where God at Aso Rock. If you see the type of hard question where they asked Tinubu, he could not answer any. These bishops were very hard, and now I use no Roman Catholic Church. And my respect for Roman Catholic don't increase.
I'm telling you.
My respect for Roman Catholic Church don't increase.
They carry your shoulder like peacock.
Cardinal Onayinka is not speaking for all Catholics. It's a lie. Any man that is speaking the truth is speaking for the church. If you're not standing for the truth, then you're not speaking for the church. Are there poor people in Nigeria? Are people poor? Is the country bleeding? Nigeria don't go to one party state. Is INEC actually independent? We know the truth. But at the end of the day, every man will answer for their soul. It is our judgment day. Judgment day is coming. There is a day is coming when every man will come and speak as to how did they live their life. How did you live your life? Because of private jets, because of mansions, because of earthly possession. Now why you they lie? Say all is well when people are moving speedily into multidimensional poverty. May God bless Roman Catholic Church. May God bless Roman Catholic Church. I repeat, Roman Catholic is not Redeemed Christian Church of God. Roman Catholic Church will never be Redeemed Christian Church of God. Tinubu cannot pocket Roman Catholic Church. Roman Catholic is bigger than what the drug baron can do. How about now? Tinubu know the fear. Look at this dirty black axe drug baron. Want to pocket a whole Roman Catholic priest. Yeah? So now him they feed all these bishops before. He wants to bribe them with his money. Let Tinubu go back to his fake bishops. Tinubu, I've been thinking you get fake bishops. Why did it get to inviting the real bishops? Tinubu not carry the fake ones. Yes, they wanted Tinubu. They are the ones that wrote to Tinubu that they want to see him. He granted their request. And for your mind, these people want to follow the path of Bishop Coker. That was why they said they want to see me. But he shocked them. And I love the way they still the shocker. They've seen nothing yet. Roman Catholic Church can never be Redeemed Christian Church of God. God bless every Roman Catholic bishops, including Anglican, Methodist. God bless all of you speaking the truth. We're going to inherit heaven and earth. God, his eyes is wide open, looking at all of una and the way they live in life. My brothers and my sisters, now the update I bring come for una. They are dragging the cardinal that he is not supporting Tinubu, and he said the country is bleeding when the country is not bleeding. But we know that the country where Tinubu they in charge now is seriously bleeding. God bless Roman Catholic Church, and God bless each and every one of you that is still speaking the truth and holding the useless government to account. Thank you.
All right. Okay. We're going to be wrapping this up shortly.
It seems like the fight between these two is never going to end soon. And from what some persons believe, that their fight and quarrel is going to continue until one of them passes on or passes away. That for as long as they live, their fight is going to continue. I think it was recently on. I think it was on Charlie Boy's book launch. I saw a video of Obasanjo being asked by Charlie Boy on what his greatest ever mistake in life has been. And Baba did not hesitate when he picked up the microphone to respond.
Oh my God.
Say picking Atiku Abubakar as his vice president is his greatest ever mistake. And I was like, how? He did not explain further anyway, but in fact, before I even continue, I think I will show us the video briefly and we will see. Happy viewing.
I want to know, what was that single mistake that you made as a president?
The man I pick as my running mate, my number 2.
Jay.
If I had known him as I came to know him later, I would not have picked him.
You're talking about Atiku, your VP?
My vice president. I don't know what name you want to give him, but my vice president.
All right, so you heard from the former head of state and from the 2-time president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has not told us what exactly Atiku did. But from what he said on that video, you heard him say, if he has known what he later get to know about the man, he would never have picked him. That was what Obasanjo said. Meanwhile, this is a response coming from Atiku Abubakar. He said, I have no apology for stopping Obasanjo's third-term bid, says Atiku. Atiku believes that the grievances Obasanjo is having towards him is because he denied Obasanjo third-term bid. Could that really be the fact? Even though America on their own has also referred or described Atiku Abubakar as the most corrupt Nigerian. But there's something I want us to look into here critically. These 2 individuals, were they all doing what they did for personal greed, or was there any of the 2 that did what they did in love for the country? Obasanjo wanted to go for third term. It was not a mere rumor. Yes, he indeed wanted to go for third term, and it was stopped. And obviously that was for personal greed on the side of Obasanjo. But Atiku stopping him from going for third term, was it an act of patriotism, or also for Atiku's personal greed? Because you and I know that Atiku contested to take over from Obasanjo after their both term expired in office, where Yaradua emerges. So maybe Atiku felt he could not have waited for Obasanjo to be in power for 13 years. Could it be that Atiku was also in a hurry to become Nigeria president? So was it a case of, I just want to be president and I can't wait, let this man go so I can start after him? Or was Atiku being patriotic? I just want us to look at that area, because I want to believe that none of them actually did what they did for the love of the country. Obviously none. But which of them now? Because Atiku is known, according to the United States of America, as the most corrupt Nigerian. And when you read Obasanjo's book, My Watch, what he said about Atiku Abubakar, Atiku have not been able to deny them, neither has he been able to take Baba to court for defamation of character. So, which means these 2 persons, they know each other dirty secret. And I want to believe that at the longer run, none is for the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians. Personal greed, personal ambition, I guess. Or what do you think?
All right. Okay, listen to this. I was going to listen to Dele Farotimi, but it's too late now. Maybe another day. We don't want a drug baron as president, to abeg. We don't want. This one said, don't they talk true? Now remember this guy, this primate, when they always give nonsense prophecy. More than here.
So when you tell him, oh God, this is not the right thing, he will hate you. All good advisors, bad people will send you. So when you tell him, oh God, this is not the right thing, he will hate you. All good advisors, bad people will send you away. This is what I expected all these Baba of faith. I don't want to mention their names. Know that their names is not sounding right before God. I give it to Bishop. Is it Archbishop Oyekan of what he have said?
Cardinal.
To the president.
Some respect.
Leave him on. If you like, let him take it. If you like, don't let him take it. There's anger and hunger in the land. By the election, you see people how they will show their grievances. Rice and money will not stop it too. We are telling you the right thing now, to do the right thing. All these I will call them surrogate aids. Right? They will push you to fire. Pam. When fire burns you, you will be the only one to cry. Tinubu, if you lose this election, it will pain you seriously.
He says Tinubu hates being told the truth, and that's why he's a failure and will lose the election in 2027. Okay?
We all know Peter Obi is from the southeast, the only zone that has not produced Nigeria's president since 1999. And if you look at the presidential candidates for 2027 presidential election, I don't know any of them that you can say is better than Peter Obi for this and that reason. If you like, start with Omoye. My only grouse against Omoye is that he doesn't want to care about rotational presidency. While I believe that every zone, we have six zones, 3 in the north, 3 in the south, and that every zone consists of 6 or 5 states. So it's bigger, each zone is bigger than some countries in the world. And what are we talking about? How can a nation expect to be peaceful and progressive without political order, without consideration for the different segments of the country? So what it means is that we are using the law of survivor of the fittest, the jungle law, I should say, of the survivor of the fittest. And so, if Omoye is from the southwest, where Obasanjo served a period of 8 years, and Tinubu says he doesn't want to know, he just wants to be Nigeria's president. To hell with the southeast that has not produced Nigeria's president. And because of the 3 zones, southwest, south-south, and southeast, only the southeast is yet to produce the president. The southwest produced Olusegun Obasanjo, south-south, Goodluck Jonathan. Why? Political disorder. Survivor of the fittest. I don't care. If you run a nation like that, what you get is what Nigeria is getting. That's my argument. And Omoye should also know that if he has a sense of history, if I were me, Nigeria's quintessential human rights activist, whom the likes of Femi Falana and Olisa Agbakuba followed and succeeded.
welcome.
You are not a politician. You are not a politician. You are a human rights activist.
Mars Queen, welcome.
But if you want to aspire, start with a sense of justice.
Welcome.
Political order.
Welcome. Good to see you.
And not this jungle law of survivor of the fittest. That's my only objection to Omoye Sowore. But as for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, you want to think about his age or heartlessness of no more subsidy for anything, yet paying workers less than living wage. And corruption, claiming to be transferring funds to indigent households. And then, rather than funding education, you say you are giving loans, having impoverished the people massively, including workers. So how many students will you give loan? It's not that they cannot come for the loan, but they wonder. It will be like a drop in the ocean, a drop of water in the ocean. It's meaningless. So it doesn't add up. And that's why it seems people are not going there. And then you are giving them, you claim, so look at the whole mess now. Some people, they are getting the money from both government and from their parents to pay school fees, or that they will even have paid. The university will have forced them to pay by setting a deadline for payment, while the government has not remitted the money. All these confusions. Rather than funding education for Nigerians, you are claiming fuel subsidy and removing all subsidies. Worse of all, using the subsidy to fund pilgrimage boards and subsidizing pilgrimages. In a secular country, lawlessness, total disregard for Nigeria's constitution. So it's part of sense of justice, political order. So if we want to be orderly, to be justiciable, okay, Ibrahim Babangida truncated the rotational presidency in 1993. Chaos, political chaos, almost total breakdown of law and order. Then we started the North-South rotation. Goodluck Jonathan truncated it in 2015, rather than allow Yar'Adua's Northwest to produce his successor. Haven't died during his first term. And Jonathan, as his vice president, completed the first term. A perfect gentleman would have said, no, let the Northwest of Yar'Adua produce his successor so that we maintain. Oh my God. You can see how Jonathan would have positioned Nigeria for peace, for order, peace, unity, progress. No, he said he was ready to fight it. Orchestrated everything and emerged as Nigeria's president in 2015. To what avail?
Did not orchestrate it.
4 brutal years of Jonathan squandered on warring against the Boko Haram Muslim community that was peaceful until attacked by government forces under and head of the jihadist warriors, Umar Musa Yar'Adua. And because Yar'Adua was succeeded by renegades like him, everything has been degenerated. From 2009, when Yar'Adua started that war, till date, Nigeria has been at war against herself. So if you think of Nigeria having political order, unity, peace, progress, then you will not say, whatever it is, I want to be president of Nigeria, like Atiku Abubakar, an old man who will be 81 in 2027. And some people are following him for money. So I'm saying that of all the presidential candidates, I don't see anyone that is better than Peter Obi, if only because he was cherished by his people as the governor of Anambra State.
We can be
yes, he made some mistakes.
I don't understand.
Who doesn't as a human being? I'm not happy with them for politicizing Catholicism, because I see him as a fanatical Catholic. And when you want to favor your church, you won't do it in absolution. So you begin to politicize religion. Do something for Christianity, and you have to do it for Islam. Chaos. While the Constitution prohibits state religion. Nigeria will have been peaceful, orderly, united. I tell you, if you don't put.
Look at how Nigerians all over have been standing strong since 2022, 2020, since Peter Obi emerged. Nobody has backed down. If everyone was doing that from the inception, from independence, we not go there where we did. If the leaders then stood up and stood for the right thing and said no, insisted, we will not be where we are today. So this generation, all of us, we that we are here now, we are fighting a generational battle. And I dare say we are succeeding. So Gandhi was wrong. Gandhi that is a racist MF. No, hell no. I beg. Gandhi was very wrong. We are great people in Africa, in Nigeria, but the people did not rise to the occasion. They did not rise to civic responsibility. Getting your country back is not the job of one man. There's only so much you can do. So I disagree. I beg. Make Gandhi go, make the man wherever he is.
Politicize religion. If you put religion where the Constitution puts it, we will not be fighting a jihadist war since 2009 to 2017. and be condoning grazing of cattle in agrarian fields. But Muhammad Buhari came and empowered the herdsmen terrorists with AK-47. They were there, but they were not carrying AK-47, and they could easily be put in their place. All of that have gone to the air. And so if Nigerians, North and South, want peace, unity, progress, I don't see a better candidate than Peter Obi. If only to maintain unity. Because look at what Tinubu is doing now. All subsidies are gone. Yet borrowing more money. More than triple what his predecessors who didn't remove subsidies were borrowing. Funding schools. Now you ask them to come for student loan. You have impoverished the workers. You have collapsed businesses. Because the purchasing power for Nigerians is hardly there. So artisans are not getting, they are getting limited patronage. Salary earners are spending most of their earnings on transportation. Maintaining their family life is harder than ever. So what are you talking about? Insecurity. You are looking for security gadgets. Oh my God. Rather than seeking peace for progress. And I'm saying part of seeking peace is voting for Peter Obi in 2027. He's not my ideal candidate, but he comes from the right place. And I don't see how he's morally worse than Tinubu. As for Atiku Abubakar, it's a different cup of tea entirely. Somebody who is drunk with becoming Nigeria's president, even at 81. I will not be surprised if in 1931, Atiku says he's still a candidate. But should we all be crazy? Should we all be mindless? Should we all be inconsiderate? Yeah, because the problem of insecurity is about really geopolitical and economic injustices. There's no doubt about it. If you want peace, start with justice. If you want progress, start with justice. If you want unity, start with justice. Where is the justice? Tinubu came, survivor of the fittest, became the president. What is the outcome? Insecurity, growing wings. Every day, horrible stories of even palaces being attacked. Military personnel being ambushed and killed en masse. Since 2009, a nation at war against herself. And you think that all you can do is to have state police, buy surveillance aircrafts, buy sophisticated weapons. Have you not been doing that since 2009? You know what Jonathan squandered in human lives and economic resources of Nigeria? Not to mention Buhari 8 years, and Tinubu has continued to be looting Nigeria's wealth in the name of subsidy and expecting that peace will reign. Where will it reign? Where? And so all I can tell Peter Obi, please correct your religious sense. Go by the constitution. Put religion where it belongs. Any people cannot practice their religion without state funding. So who are we to respect now? Where is the influence of our secular constitution that was positioned to guarantee equity? And now Islam and Christianity come before human life in Nigeria, a secular country by constitutional provision.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Nigerian Oshodi underbridge politicians are playing a card that we also need to be careful so we don't fall into their trap. This tribal card especially, I've really looked at it and I've seen what is going on. I made a post. Let me read the post. It says on X, I was on 2nd of this August, a large percentage of Yorubas don't support or are even proud of Tinubu. Cardinal Onayekon is one of them. A lot of reactions came up there, and someone said something that I think it is popular amongst those of us who are not Yorubas. And he said, I disagree. Many Yorubas will defend Tinubu just to spite Igbo. I want us to critically look at this. Let us think. But before we look at it, let us see what other Yorubas said. Okeshola Sunday Sola said, only children who were brought up in a criminal community environment are proud of Emilokon. I am not proud of Emilokon because it is against my family principle. We don't support evils, whether it's convenient or not. Then Oluwaseun also said, add my name.
Let's move forward. Okay.
Honor to Mary. A special thank you video. Glory to Jesus. Honor to Mary. A special thank you video to our Father in the Lord, John Cardinal Onayekon. We are all Catholics, and indeed all Christians, and indeed all Nigerians across the world are saying thank you, and thank you for adding your voice to the growing call that this present administration must first of all be more economically accountable, be more financially accountable, and be more politically accountable. Your Eminence, you are exactly right. All is not fair in politics. Even in war, Russia and Ukraine are fighting. Two people have agreed to kill themselves. They still agree on a set of rules on how to kill themselves. I'm aware politics, where it is more or less like a game. And in any case, this is a contest between brothers. This is a contest between Nigerians. This is a contest between two people who are of the same heritage. We are fundamentally the same as Nigerians and indeed as Africans. But these funny people want to convince everybody that all is fair in politics. That cannot be true. That is vehemently a lie. We want to thank you again. I want to thank the body of Christ for standing on the side of truth, for standing on the side of the people, for standing on the side of common sense, and for those who have declared war on the body of Christ because they have decided to stand on the side of the people. God will declare war on you. Bayo Onanuga, God will declare war on you. Daniel Bwala, God will declare war on you. Reno Mokri, God will declare war on you. If you can challenge God, then you will get scot-free with what you have just done. If you cannot challenge God, God will prove to you and everyone else in that circle who believe that Nigerians are your product. You believe that Nigerians are product you go to market, your merchandise. If you can challenge God and succeed, that's how you succeed. Otherwise, God will prove to you that He is God. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. I am fulfilled today as a Catholic. I am proud as a Catholic. I am honored as a Catholic. Glory be to Jesus. Honor to Mary. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
When you and your government get now to conduct free and fair election, you say your billboard is 750 million. Of course, we don't get money. So if it's too much for us, you know what we will do? We will post P2B. We just wait make campaign start. We post P2B everywhere. On our cars, on our toilets, our wardrobes, our bicycle, our horse, our wristwatch, ring light, our shoes, our cap. We go even put the logo of our BABA. Every of our social medias go get P2B and Kwankwaso. Profile, pages, AI generated. You go get P2B Kwankwaso. P2B is not contesting for election. Nigerian youths are contesting through P2B. Now we send them. For a mess up for judiciary, none of you saw NSAS coming. We go come out in mass. If you mess up, for a manipulator, we go come out in mass. It will not be business as usual. The political frustration, the era is gone. This is not era when our forefathers, they go stand, they read newspaper. Now we are everywhere. Doctors go put them for their thermometer. The obedient doctors, they go place them for their costume, their white. Teachers go carry them like exercise book, go be Kwankwaso. You can't be bigger than the people. It's not possible. If you like, carry the billboard, go 10 billion. We have our way of advertising our candidates. We will post, even if we are eating egusi and ogbono soup, we could put the banner inside the plate. You go even follow wash up. Your gate man go put them for your clothes. You cannot stop a moving through. Nigerians has made up their mind. Your government is terrible, sir. Don't you respect? You know it's not easy to beat a child and tell him not to cry. Yep. You are getting it clear. Nigerians are not. All your achievements are all on social media. There is no reality in what you are saying. We are out. We're just waiting for campaign to kickstart. We know that you only control social media. You don't control our cars,
exactly,
our bikes, our phone. We will make call in public or make one kwaso go there the back.
I'm telling you.
What you not go see for this time around? It will shock everybody.
It will shock them.
Let me share this video. It's very important to TV so you will get the message.
Wallahi, we go shock them. They never know it. They never know anything. They just say we come play. It's the same song. Let's move forward.
Terrorists invade Enugu Catholic Church, abduct seminarians, worshippers during Sunday Mass.
Yeah.
24 hours before this news I just read right now, headline, Christian genocide from Parallel Facts. Tears as Catholic diocese buries 27 Christians killed by Fulani terrorists in southern Kaduna. Video, and the video you're watching right now on the screen. And all these are happening virtually some 24, 48 hours after the Catholic Church visited Aso Rock. But I saw a comment underneath this that prompted me to make this video. And this is from Ibro Makanaki, Ibiyemi Ibro, and he said, Sheyi declared to run. They kidnapped children from his state. The cardinal said the truth to power. They kidnapped members of his faith. The people that are sponsoring and enabling the terrorists in Nigeria are in plain sight.
Bam.
When I saw this, I first paused and I was like, wait. Are we in real time seeing this in how these events play out and we're acting like there's nothing playing out?
Telling you.
Like it is on record, Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State coming out to say that the day he declared to run for presidency, that less than 24 hours after that Oyo kidnapping happened.
Yep.
And it just halted his momentum and everything. Yep. He redirected his focus from whatever he had to say about being a president to the Oyo incident. And I've asked this question before, and I say that why did Bola Tinubu not visit Oyo State?
He never visit because
not for once. He never visited Oyo State. When we called him out in Benue State, he visited Benue State. When we called him out in Plateau State, he visited Plateau State, even though he just stopped at the airport, but he visited Plateau State. Why did he not visit a state from his own region? Apparently, maybe because they already know what they planned.
Yep.
Right? But that's on the side. Then now we now come to the Catholic Church. These men were in the Aso Rock last week, and they told Tinubu they had to that you're being an abject failure, you're a disaster to Nigerians. You're failed on all rights. The same thing they have told previous presidents. They told Jonathan, they told Buhari, they have been saying it back to the military era. They don't hide it. The Catholic faith is one. Those people are people that they are not scared, apart from the few ones around, because they are in every.
I'm telling you,
they're always Judas.
See,
in every within they are the wolves in sheep clothing within all the gardens. It's normal. So when you see the likes of the Mbaka and the rest, those ones are already those ones are the wolves in sheep clothing, right? But when you see the attack that APC from the presidency itself attacking the Cardinal John Oyekon, from Bayo Onanuga to Daniel Bwala to all the people around the presidency attacking them on social media, you can say that there's actually a state-sanctioned attack on the image of the Catholic Church online. Then apparently, the foot soldiers of APC that are in the forest are doing their job also out there.
Yep.
Because if you remember, there's a popular APC chieftain that said that they actually were the ones that sponsored these terrorists to come into Nigeria in 2015. It's on record. So apparently, the Catholic Church has done what no any other institution have done, which is actually telling Tinubu the truth.
Yep.
That you are a disaster. And they know that the Catholic Church is a church that hosts over nothing less than 50 million Nigerians. Millions of Nigerians are Catholics.
Yep.
They know this. So it is an attack against the institution, both through the media and through their foot soldiers, the Boko Haram terrorists across our country. So it's just important we put this out for Nigerians to see. So for those that keep wondering, how is it that terrorists do these things unabated? How do they have TikTok handles? How is it that they cannot be found? How is it that they cannot be seen? You can now see the people that actually protect them. They use them to attack their target audience or their enemies, as the case may be. So I'm not even coming to come out. This is me openly declaring right now for the world to see that if you want to stop terrorism in Nigeria, you must stop APC. Because you cannot tell me that 24 hours after the top voices in the Catholic Church went to Aso Rock and told Tinubu the truth, then less than 24 hours, you will begin to find Catholic priests being abducted and Catholics being killed across the country. You can't tell me that it is normal. This is a classic case of the witch cried in the night, the child died in the morning. Nigerians, you guys can see it for yourself. This one will not be propaganda. Evidence is before you that the Catholic Church is totally under attack today. And it's a shame to see. the one thing shall happen, that this Pharaoh that we're seeing must go. His time is up.
This is the time. This is 12 a.m. 2nd of August, 12 a.m. I came out here to make a video so heaven and the earth will hear my voice. People around will hear my voice. Tinubu, you are a wicked man. So you open your mouth and say that you can do anything possible, provided you won the election. You can do anything possible in politics, provided that you win the election. Tinubu, I swear with my family, with the last drop of my body, that you can never rig this 2027 election. Tinubu, you can never rig this 2027 presidential election. Free and fair election, if you win, fine. But you say by rigging, Tinubu, if you rig this election, you will never see peace. You will not know peace. Your generation will not know peace. Those people that is supporting this president, those people that is supporting Tinubu, you people know the truth. Reno Mokri, you know the truth. Akio, you know the truth. Kenneth Okonkwo, you know the truth. What are they? Kubana Chief Priest, you know the truth. Sheyi Tinubu, you know the truth. Sheyi Law, you know the truth. Obi Kubana, you know the truth. I know you people are supporting Tinubu. Even D1, very stupid man. Who is? Even D1, you people know the truth. Mr. Jollof, you know the truth. Just that is because of your own selfish interest, because of that money. That is why you're supporting Tinubu. You know the truth. You are supporting this man because currently they are funding you. They are funding you people. You people have something in your pocket. That's why you are supporting this man. But truly, you know that this man is not a good person. INEC published Tinubu result statements and the academic certificate. No secondary school, no primary school, but there is BSc in Chicago. Even the school in Chicago denied that they never see someone like Tinubu. That the only Tinubu they have in their school is a female student. INEC, you people know the truth. INEC, I'm up down, you know the truth. But I swear, let environment hear my voice. Let people sleep hear my voice. Let heaven and earth hear my voice. The spirit and the people living will also hear my voice. And if you are seeing this, please share it. Share this video as far as possible. I'm telling you today, and this might be the last video I will make about you. But you say by reading, this 2027 presidential election, you cannot read it. And that is final.
The position of Mr. President came very clearly in that statement that he made. In politics, all is fair. Is that true? If that is what politics is, that in politics everything can be done, provided you win election.
See the fake bishops. Now remember, fake bishop. See wetin Tinubu turn Lagos to. This is what the young people will feed them. Hunger. They say it's so bad in Lagos now. People are afraid they might be linked. You must be still have a trouble. Hey!
Stop now be this. Why they drag this thing?
Asking that the opposition should come together. If part of the agenda is to defeat Bola Tinubu and the APC, if the argument is that what we are presently getting under the ruling government is not satisfactory according to them, that the opposition should come together. There must be a coalition. And coalescing to defeat or to remove Bola Tinubu and the APC out of power means that if you look at the historical figures, you need to have a change in strategy. Are you willing to join on a coalition race? Are you willing to jettison your own ambition, as they say, that there must be a jettisoning of genuine commitment to the general idea of defeating Bola Tinubu and the APC and wanting a better Nigeria through an alternative, an optional means of what we have today. Are you willing to join in this idea of coalition?
Okay, let me get it clear. Many of our friends who are in this G100 or G100, including your immediate guest before me, Professor Killer, they are all mostly our people, the people we know very well. And I sympathize with their point of view, because their point of view is that the opposition should come together. And their point of view is a subset of my own point of view. My point of view is not that the opposition should come together only, that all Nigerians should come together, not just the opposition. Because even the people who might be members of the APC, they know now that the APC itself has been made irrelevant and that they are facing a system of one-man rule. Many of the National Assembly members who were sitting inside and saying, when we were being tear gassed a few months ago, when we were passing the obnoxious Electoral Act, most of which, predictably now, the courts are knocking the provisions out one by one. Now, they have been robbed of their own democratic rights too. Many of them now can't come back because they're not in the book of life that President Tinubu is keeping to himself. He has a book of life. If your name is on it, you will win your primaries. If your name is not on that book of life, doesn't matter how popular you are with your people. Even if you won in the primaries, they will remove your name and put somebody whose name is the book of life there. So all of us now need to come together. And my objective is not about defeating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. To be honest, President Tinubu has defeated himself, because you cannot fail to defeat yourself as a government if the collective summary of your service is that you have defeated the purpose of government. So President Tinubu, in his 3 years plus, has defeated the essence of government, defeated the purpose of government, defeated the essence of the republic, and he has become a one-man character with a few audience of his own that are following him up and down. So as a result, President Tinubu's government is an outgoing administration. They are going. That's not the issue. I can tell you, my advice to them is, even if they can't get anything right, they should get people to start preparing handover notes, so that at least
that is it.
The mess that we are witnessing can quickly be remedied by the time they leave. So it's not a question of whether they are going to go. They will go.
So,
bam, that's it. This idea of coalition, as much as I understand why the G100, whatever people are talking to coalition, but Peter Obi has never been against the coalition. What we are saying, Peter Obi should be the spear. He's the only one that can defeat Tinubu, Peter Obi and Kwankwaso. Anything other than Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, in fact, the coalition should go and be begging them to come. Like, okay, we support you. That's what they need to be doing. Anything other than that is a waste of my goddamn time. That's it. So now Peter Obi, now be the focus. Okay, ticket. All the coalition go and coalesce and then join Peter Obi and Kwankwaso. So that's the only coalition that will make any sense. Any other thing a waste of time. Now bother that shit. Okay, see on a senator Gio. Just they talk, they tell Tinubu say make he accept the cardinal. They're not born away now. Now ECOWAS agree say INEC rig out Peter Obi.
Coming out to vote to see that the results were not uploaded. Now, just to show you the extent of the mischief that occurred, the results for the National Assembly elections, which occurred at the same time, simultaneously with the presidential results, were able to be uploaded, but the presidential election results were not uploaded. And till this day, as we speak, the results have not even been completely uploaded. What is even shocking is that we have seen photographs of individuals, a woman in a bathroom, uploaded supposedly as results on INEC's IREV page till this day. How can you elect someone on the basis of the photograph of a woman in the bathroom? I want to quickly mention that a lot of the international observers who were there were as disenchanted as I was. There were 4 African presidents, former presidents, who were in Nigeria to observe the elections. There were over 144,000 observers deployed across the country, and they all were disenchanted by what they saw. I want to say that what happened in Nigeria was not election observation, but a crime watch. We watched a crime being perpetrated on a country of 200 million people with utter and complete impunity. I also want to say that President Jimmy Carter has been vindicated. He went and observed elections in Nigeria many years ago, and he was so upset at the impunity and the brazen theft of the election that he vowed never to go back to Nigeria again. And as that distinguished president is in hospice care, he stands vindicated because Nigeria has refused to learn its lesson.
This is an old video, though.
Let my people go. Jehovah Lord is calling them. They want to go to the promised land. Pharaoh, let my people go. Watch this video with me.
I was not surprised that
doesn't
he
make
was
sense
not
anymore.
looking very happy. No, even his colleagues who were there. We knew that this is different from the kind of statements that our president keeps receiving from all kinds of people. And that is one of the things that worries us, that there are so many people hanging around Mr. President, giving him a rosy picture of what the country is, which it is not. And we felt that we have no duty to do that. Indeed, we have the obligation to help him to appreciate the reality of the situation in which we find ourselves. And that is the reality that we painted, which I know is not the kind of thing that he wanted to hear. And the reply shows very clear.
I'm concerned that your cross is going over your mic.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
go on. Yeah, and you can see his reply. We left that hall, both sides, knowing that, we said what we had to say. He said what he had to say.
So was it a frosty meeting then? Would you describe it as fairly frosty? Because, I mean, many Nigerians have become accustomed to polite meetings between religious leaders and political leaders.
When the nation is bleeding, you can't expect a polite meeting with the head of state. We need to let him know. And his reply is that the nation is not bleeding. We told him our economy is not helping our poor people. He told us the economy is doing fine. Practically speaking, he told us quite clearly that he did not agree with us. Again, I said, we're not surprised. We didn't expect him to agree with us. We have done our duty. We have delivered our message. And we have a feeling that somehow along the line, somebody will.
Said they will be bullied this one.
But in terms of, if you like, your immediate observations, you left the presidential villa believing that the president did not actually really, hear your concerns. He listened to them, but he didn't actually hear them.
He heard it, and he tried to tell us that he heard us, which is precisely why he replied the way he replied. Replied to the points we raised, and disagreed with them. So he must have heard it. The only question now is this disagreement his final position, or will there be people around him whose job it is to draw his attention that these guys who came here in white garments, they have not made any personal requests for oil wells or any particular personal things. Maybe we should listen to what they are saying. I think we believe one of the problems with our government right now is there are not too many people telling him
the bishop rattled him, and I like it.
Whether in terms of economy or in terms of insecurity, and above all, the area of political climate.
Turn with me to the book of Exodus, chapter 9, verses 33, 34, and 35. I read. And Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread abroad his hands unto the Lord. And the thunders and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh, come with me, and when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more and hardened his heart. He and Daniel Bwala. He and Bayo Ononuga. He and Festus Keyamo. He and Adam Tushomoli. He and City Boys Movement. He and City Girls Movement. He and City Olosho Movement. He and the All Progressive Congress of Affliction, Pain, Penury, and Squalor. Final verse. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened. Neither would he let the children of Israel go, as the Lord had spoken to Moses. Let us stop here. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria did a wide consultation among Catholics and even non-Catholics and even Muslims. They took a delegation. Keep in mind, not the bishops with the president and not all the bishops in Nigeria, all the Catholic bishops in Nigeria. A delegation of all archbishops and some bishops were sent to the president to deliver a message. Pharaoh, let our people go. To deliver a message that Nigerians today are passing through pain, penury, anger, frustration, insecurity, poverty, lack of resources. They presented this message to King Pharaoh of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I don't call anybody name. If you are the Pharaoh, that is your business. And when they told King Pharaoh, do you know what happened? According to the video we just watched, King Pharaoh got angry. King Pharaoh got frustrated. King Pharaoh pushed back. King Pharaoh said, nothing is wrong. King Pharaoh said, the economy is okay. King Pharaoh said, insecurity is okay. King Pharaoh said, you are the church. If you love your people so much, feed them, give them hope. The man who promised you renewed hope, who gave you renewed hopelessness, is now seconding his job to the bishops, whose job is to lead people to Christ. Say, take care of them if you think the government is not doing enough. And the Moses, the Catholic bishops that God sent to our Pharaoh of the Federal Republic, came back to say, we have gone to meet the president. They threw their hands abroad. We've gone to meet the president. And the president is unhappy. So we tell and say the objective living condition of the average Nigerian living in Nigeria. And the bishop said, we have done our part. We have told the president. We have showed him the concerns of the flock of Christ, the concerns of citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is now up to the president to do the needful. They even went as far as asking the president, allow free and fair elections. And the president said, no, that his job is not to give the opposition the power to remove him. He went further to say that all is fair in politics. I am here to tell you that even in war, all is not fair. Pharaoh, let Nigerians go. Pharaoh, let my people go. A word they say is enough for the wise. Nigerians, open your eyes as we approach 2027. This Pharaoh you see today, these Egyptians you see today, you shall see them no more. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Ladies and gentlemen of Famable, good afternoon to you and yours. Happy Sunday. I'm not here to do much.
I will try to a lot of people to come out. I'm very happy.
That have been trending. You know, Cardinal Onayekon and other bishops, they go and address President Tinubu. Them just show you one of the videos that
them to polite meetings between religious leaders and political leaders.
When the nation is bleeding, you can't expect a polite meeting with the head of state. We need to let him know. And his reply is that the nation is not bleeding. We told him our economy is not helping our poor people. He told us the economy is doing fine. Practically speaking, he told us quite clearly that he did not agree with us. Again,
you see, I'm not a Christian anymore. But I'm always eternally grateful that I grew up Catholic for two reasons. One, because spiritually, Catholics very, very, very importantly place meditation very high on their list of spirituality. And that's one of the highest ways to connect to the source. But when it comes to economics, the Catholic Church always stands for the poor, always stands for the people.
Always.
That's why
Has
in this video,
always.
the bishop didn't, the cardinal rather,
People
didn't go
might
and
not
say,
believe
oh,
in a
he's here
material
because of
wealth.
Catholics. He didn't go and say, oh, he's here because of Christians.
Yeah, okay.
He went there on behalf of Nigerians because all Nigerians are suffering, whether you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you are a this, you are a that. And this is what we keep telling you about religious leaders. Me and my friends keep having a constant conversation about how religious leaders can help change the country. And we keep saying, these people wield so much influence and they do absolutely nothing with it. Instead, what do? They look for ways to get people to want miracles. In a country that should have systems, people are looking for miracles. And that's why the other day, when I criticized the pastor for doing a whole public show of miracles, Christians come out and they say, oh, they hope that I don't need a miracle soon. So you're praying that I will have accidents so that I will cripple. Just so you can prove your pastor right. Something bad should happen to me. Just watch. Anytime anybody criticizes any of the pastors, they'll say, oh, hey, hope you know that God will do something. God, you want something bad to happen to other people because of your pastor. Instead of you to hold them to account because they wield so much influence. Ever since yesterday that Cardinal went to have this meeting, everywhere agog. In fact, all the APC stalwarts have been coming out to say, oh, it's partisan. It's because it's partisan. Even by your Nanuga. He say, oh, why will he release private information to public? I didn't know whether it's NSC meeting now. I didn't know whether it's National Security Council that is doing meeting of high security threats. That is a private conversation. The conversation about how Nigerians are suffering. It's obvious. What the cardinal said, that there's a lot of sycophants around the president. It's obvious. He went further to say, the president said, politics, all is fair. That's what he can do and undo. A few weeks ago, Arojile, that's Najo-wide, Nigeria division, he was arguing that the president has no responsibility to do free and fair election. That's what he implied. That's what he implied, because apparently before he got there, it was like that, and it should always be like that, and they should continue killing each other for life because he has no responsibility. That's what the president have just said, and it's because he has so many sycophants around, and nobody will help them to speak the truth. Now, you say that the position is so difficult for you. Every single time that they give the president, you say, oh, he's so hard, he inherited something of his predecessors. If it's so difficult, why is it such a must that you must enter power over and over again?
Bam!
But is that why I'm here? I'm here to tell, especially religious people and Nigerians, there is a serious and great problem we have in Nigeria. It's called ignorance. But the ignorance is not the ignorance spelled IGNORANCE. It is the ignorance IGNORE, that is ignore and rance. Because the first one implies there is lack of knowledge. Ignorance means lack of knowledge. You see, that second one is the worst, because you have knowledge. You can see the truth. You can see who is against you. You can see what the leaders are doing. You can see what your religious, you can see what your religious, the power your religious leaders have, the powers that they have always had. But you choose to ignore. It's the same for APC members. It's the same for people who support APC. They can see what the country is turning into, but they will instead go and lie to the president and be sycophants because they love to ignore. We treasure ignoring in Nigeria. We treasure it. That's why elections will come. And my mom always told me that thing. When I was barely 18 when I went out to get my PVC, because I was always so interested. My mom never voted. My mom always said, oh, God will make who he wants to. As how now? And these are the same
the economy is bad.
That the religious leaders are feeling of course. So I dare ask you, how many of your leaders, how many of your leaders have the balls to do what Cardinal Omoye did? How many of your leaders have the balls to go and speak to government, not just the president, the legislators, the House of Reps, the governors, etc. How many of your leaders have, your religious leaders have the wherewithal to go and say, these roads are bad, this is bad, how can we fix it? If they really care about you and I, if they really care about the people, how many of them can do that? Ladies and gentlemen, Sayonara, take what you will out of this.
Thank you very much. People have been coming out, and I like it. I hope that they continue, because that cardinal, when they go talk to anyhow now, you don't come bite them for you. They say now the one they feel you use money silence like everybody else, like all the people when they don't the silence, since they don't know say difference they go know now, but you go tell them now, say these ones are different too. They are not our typical ones that we can just do anyhow to and get away with. It not be the same. So it's good. Let everybody be coming out and speaking. The talk is not for everything. Nigeria, if it works, now everybody work for. It's not going to work for only those that spoke up. It will work for everybody. To work for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So everybody needs to, because it's a collective fight. It's a collective fight. Can't pretend and close your eye and say, oh, hoping that, oh, this thing will go away and, it will not disturb you. No. If Nigeria work, it work for all of us. And your state of mind is very important going into this election. Very, very important. You can't entertain anything negatively and be thinking, oh, what if now? We are past that. We've already passed that one. You're either in or you're out. If you're not going to be in, that's okay. You can sit on the fence. So I mean, I salute the cardinal for what he did. That's the only Christian body that has consistently spoke the truth. They have lost reverend fathers. In fact, now it reminds me that this is the reason why they unalive a lot of the reverend fathers and seminarians. Because I wondered one time, like, why is it that it's mostly reverend fathers and seminarians that they attack? It can't dey make sense now why they do that. If not be Catholic, it go be Anglican. If not be Catholic, it go be Anglican. Every time the Orthodox churches when we get for Nigeria, because their body is very strong, right? Apart from the few ones like Kuka and the other one that's fallen by the wayside, everything are anywhere where belle face. The Catholic Church has always stood consistently. And in the times that you needed a moral authority, someone to stand up and speak directly to the man there, Cardinal Oyanekon took that position and did it with audacity. And we appreciate him. And every Catholic should be proud that that is coming from their own group. So I really appreciate the man. Abeg, dem be think say dem go fit just talk silence and say Catholic church na like all these Pentecostal churches when dey ring bell. See a whole GO no fit talk again. Dem don use money take slap him mouth. Can't say jack. E even get campaign office. RCCG is the campaign arm of APC. CRCCG, C campaign, C APC, no difference. Exactly. Money rain, na dey beat everybody. Exactly. All the people that have gone to see Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when they reach there, they go chop clean mouth. When they go come talk through, go hard them, the thing go choke them for throat, they no dey fit talk. They go dey do bebe. The ones wey not do bebe say everything is okay. When you know people are suffering, people are dying, you go, God forbid. Anyway, my people, can end down for here. I don't try. I don't even think say I go take reach like this sef. But I don't try. I don't all the videos when I line up for now. I don't share them. We go dey do the rest later. Thank you all so much for joining me. Madam Luke, thank you very much for the gift. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Rose. Thank you very much. Seed, thank you. EB, it's good to see you again. Everyone that was able to join. Mass Queen, thank you. Kenny was here too, briefly. I'll see you guys on my next one. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, by the way, campaign go soon start. I don't post the flyer for my community page. Mona go check the date. The thing go soon start to bumper. I'm ready. All right. And then I'm going to bring somebody here to come and talk to us about ballot, smart ballot. Thursday, I think I'm looking to bring her in on Thursday to come and talk to us about smart ballot. Everybody needs to get on smart ballot. You can organize, you can do so many things on it. So anyway, I will schedule Amsha so that you guys will be aware and then we can come and talk about it. All right. Thank you so much. Madam Luke, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of the evening and I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.